What's up?
Aren't you doing it for the likes?
Nah, I ain't doing it for the likes.
Oh, okay. Hold up. So you doing it for the pussy?
Nah, I mean, yeah, no, I ain't doing it for that.
Okay, then what are you doing it for?
Man, I do it for the culture.
Culture.
Matter of fact, they probably had the same amount, but you know, when you from somewhere else, you always feel like they got more hood girls than you do. But you know,
I knew a lot of niggas from Brooklyn. Who
somebody called me a hood rat.
Everybody who black people think making it is going to Long Island and getting a house.
I know,
In New York?
but it's not.
It's not.
Really not.
And they try and play me like, "Oh, you from Long Island?" I'm like, bitch, walk down my
Because
street. What do you
they
mean?
they get to host the cookouts in the summer and or the holiday festivities, and that's a cool goal. I mean, it's striving to have property and still live in the
They mean
state.
Suffolk County. That's where the money's at.
Nah,
not
nigga,
Nashville.
why
No.
Nashville?
Let me just tell y'all, as a West Coast nigga, I'm just like,
What's up? Right.
yeah, okay.
No,
It's all about Long Island.
it's
yeah.
Now, Long Island is like the IE. It's like
Right.
How people
Oh, that's
think
a
the
good,
IE is
that's
so,
a great correlation.
But like,
so it's just like the dead
all that
zone.
shit.
But let me tell you, we had an 8-bedroom house. I mean,
That's what's up.
7-bedroom house. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Y'all
We had a
living.
7-bedroom house, so it was. I don't want to talk to the mic. We had a 7-bedroom
have to talk
house,
into the mic.
but we're not on yet.
We are on.
We
Oh,
are.
we are? Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're
sorry.
on.
I like to
you
talk
said-
before I
I
start.
saw the little
Okay.
nod over there.
My
I
mic-
was
All
like,
right,
oh,
my
we
fault.
on.
We had.
That's how I do it.
Okay, so we had a 7-bedroom house or whatever,
Yeah.
and like we lit like everybody. We had like kind of the biggest house on the street, but everybody had nice houses. And I remember I used to ask my mom, like, "How is it so hood when everyone has like beautiful houses?" And she's like, "Oh, Section 8." I was like, "Oh, that's why."
Oh.
Niggas save their money
Section
and
Exactly.
they bought that crib because a bunch of like my Haitian people, like there's always one cousin you have who got a crib out on Long Island, and then you go to see them for the July 4th cookout or for whatever
We had
because
cookouts
they
on
have the big house that can accommodate all the family.
With grass,
Yeah.
contrary
That's
to
the point.
popular
It's
belief.
having a house to accommodate all the family because it gets tiresome to just do that shit in like in a Brooklyn or Queens apartment.
No, I feel it. I mean,
And
And you gotta like scrunch against the wall to get anything.
Yeah. So
That's how
I feel like.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm saying that's how it used to be out here.
Right.
You go east to like Fontana or something like that, but everything with the housing crisis, everything is expensive now.
Right,
So you used to
right.
go out to Fontana, that was like where people could get a house,
Right.
and you could actually have your family and functions. Now you got to go out to fucking Lancaster. You know, you met my cousin
for sure,
That's
you
where
gotta
have to
go way north,
way north
or
to have
way
a-
east.
Well,
That's
I
the
want to get a
country, yeah.
condo. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, you got big dreams and you'll get it there.
Yeah.
On that
summer
note,
2019.
welcome to For the Culture podcast. It's your host Nick Alexander. Today, I got the pleasure of having a lot of guests because we're doing a big review recap of the year. We picking some of our favorite things. We picking some of the worst things. We're gonna talk shit on everything. So here I'm joined by my comedian buddies, Jasmin, Leigh.
Hi guys.
My boy in my Cornbread Kitchen comedy group, writer, filmmaker, actor, do-it-all man, Tarik Jackson.
I does it all.
And another collaborative friend of ours. He's also a filmmaker, writer, producer. Give it up for Salim. I don't know his last name, so he just Salim. Like
It's
he
all
one
good.
nigga.
I'll just be Salim.
He just
I want a new
I'm the new Salim because Salim I'll kill. You know he's
right. Yeah.
I'll be the new Salim.
Yeah, he's the new Salim.
I'm the new Salim.
He's the head Salim
I'm
in
the only
charge.
Salim right
I
now.
want a new intro. Everyone else's intro
Hey, y'all,
sounds
you
a
gonna have to
lot
record
more
this.
interesting.
I said you are my
You gotta do
comic
social media
actress
for us.
friend, Jasmin Leigh.
Yeah, don't be texting. Pull your
Hold
phone out.
on, Jasmine wants a better intro, so
Okay,
let me
go ahead,
start
go ahead.
again.
Thank you.
Also joining me today is a very talented and funny comedic actress. She also does stand-up. And she's appeared on your favorite show. You've seen her at some point. You spot her face because she'll post it on Instagram. Give it up for Jasmin Leigh.
Oh, you from that?
Yeah. That's me.
I knew that was her.
You know what I love about Jasmine? Because Jasmine like posts like all the extras that she's
You're
been in.
goddamn right.
She proud of her shit.
Yeah.
Not
like
too many
that.
people own that they
People
do
be
extra.
trying to make you feel bad. Like this girl that thought she was in a relationship with me went on a rant,
Okay.
and she was like, "Oh, and all she's ever gonna be is a background actress," and da da da. I'm like, bitch, if that's all I ever was, that's still a lot more than these regular ass people. You feel me?
For sure.
So why am I not being proud that I'm in LA acting?
Hey,
My
look, there's a lot of people that feed their families working
full-time job.
working full-time background. But that's not going to be you.
Oh no, that's not gonna be me. It's a stepping stone.
It's a stepping stone.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
You doing better than everybody from your block.
Right. Nobody on your block is doing what
Nigga.
you doing.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. You're right.
No, Jasmine got like friends that's literally doing it. That's like in her contact. Like she can actually hit them up and chill
Are
with
we
them.
name dropping or no?
If you want to start, by all means, it's my podcast. I don't give a fuck.
All right, I'm just gonna do one name drop.
Go ahead.
So I
Is it who I
just
think
had
it
to
is?
make it which one?
Jeff Ross.
Oh, I forget that's a name.
Right?
drop. That's like one of my
that
best
person.
friends.
What?
But no, I had a potluck for Christmas Eve, and so I had to make an announcement. I was like, all right, y'all, I did invite Tiffany Haddish and Dave Chappelle, so if they walk in, don't act crazy. And everyone was like, oh. Dave didn't text me back, but Tiffany did, so it was a possibility.
But none of them showed up though.
It don't matter. She acted as if she was going to come and get a plate.
Maybe, possibly, kind of. Nah.
But at least she texted you back
She
though.
texted me back.
If you can get the text back from a famous nigga, that means they still fuck with you.
Yes, it was
So,
a conversation.
Yeah, I saw her the other night. We were still able to like have a quick couple words back and forth. So I'm like, okay, all right, we still there.
Yeah.
That means something.
She's cool.
We all have famous
gave me the
friends.
new
All of
number.
us, we all work, and we all have like people that are really doing shit right now.
It's hard.
And we kind of knew them a few years back when they weren't at that level. And so when we can see that we can still get conversation, we can still kick
Yes.
it, we can still hang out. You know that those are people that still really
Yes,
fuck with you. Because
that's for
if
real.
they didn't fuck with you, you wouldn't be getting a text back or a phone call or a meetup, right?
We all have a friend who parents see them doing successful things and like, oh, yo, are they gonna hook you up? I'm like, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
of course, yeah, of course.
Preach.
That's
What is
yeah, of
wrong with-
course.
My father does that every
I know.
week.
That's why I just said it. I already knew.
Right. What's up, Jess? What you gonna say?
I said my mother does the same thing.
Of course.
And then after that Google commercial, she was like, okay, so now that you have this Google commercial, you really need to, maximize this. So I'm like, yeah, because I'm just
shit.
sitting at home doing
Exactly.
nothing.
I'm not networking. I'm not trying to do this thing.
I love
staying
the
up to
question
2
when
o'clock.
your parents ask you, well, if they know you and they're friends, why don't they just give you the job?
Just put you on
Just
it.
ask them for the job.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna call them. I'm like,
I should call them. Why was I not thinking of doing that?
Bro, when Rel's show came out, my mom tagged me in the show. She said, your homie has a show, get on it. I'm like, Mom.
Oh, she saw the deadline article?
Wait, yes.
How many niggas really live for I want a deadline article with my face on it.
Bro, I can't
It's
wait.
Variety. That's
It's
dope
dope.
shit.
But she was like, she posted it, added me, tagged me in and there. I'm like, this is embarrassing. Now everyone knows he's my friend and I'm still not on the show. Thanks.
But you have been on the show.
Oh, yeah, I was a zombie.
That's right. She was on the Halloween
I
episode.
died. I died.
You got killed.
Yeah.
That's always worse than a nigga that got killed. So we had a big conversation about that episode, but I'm not gonna bring this up
Yeah, that
because
was
what
my
I wanted to talk about today. So it is the end of the year. Today is actually December 30th. I'm not. I think we're gonna be able to get this out. Hopefully, when the new year drops, or today maybe,
Hey, he's a beast.
or tomorrow, because my man Paul, comedic extraordinaire, engineer extraordinaire, is a beast with them things. So we're gonna review and recap what we
things?
liked this year, what we didn't like this year, our favorites. Our personal best, not what the general consensus was, because I think sometimes a lot of people hold their opinions back and they just kind of fall in line with what the general consensus say because they don't want to have an opinion that goes against that. So I really want to get niggas' true takes on films and music, and we'll have an honest conversation about that. We agree to disagree, and we put our favorites out. So I
We
think
doing TV shows too.
we could get into some TV shows. But let's really knock out music. So I think majority of this
Cardi
room,
B.
Hold on.
Lord.
Relax.
She's ready.
For Cardi B.
Sorry.
So I think it'd be fair. Hip hop and R&B are probably the two things that we listen to more than anything. So we're gonna talk about our personal top 5 albums of the year.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
Hold on. Yeah, we got to do personal. We got to do our personal, and then we'll debate if they are the best after. So let's start with everybody. Your personal favorite 5 albums, hip hop this year. 5 albums.
wait. Before we get
What's
into
up?
it, can we talk about all the albums that came out so we know what the landscape is looking like?
That's a
I
lot.
can't say that because we got to do that. We got to do film, and we're gonna try and do TV shows. So I don't think we can get into all. I want to say let's do personal. Then let's talk about possibly what have been considered the best, and then we can evaluate and differentiate from there. So we can start whoever this room want to go first with
I'll
their
go
personal
first.
top
Lady
5 hip hop
first.
albums this year.
Oh, I love being the only lady. Ew.
Go ahead, Jess.
All right,
You
so
already know what you're going with the end.
first of all,
Set in stone.
First of all, I did not steal that from from Cardi B. I've already been talking like this. I'm from Long Island. You know what I mean?
She
Like,
just popularized it,
she
right?
popularized
It's like
it.
the
and then-
moonwalk,
It's a New
right?
York-
They taught it to Cardi, and then she just knew how to do it better than everybody.
Exactly.
She spread it to the world.
She was just out with it more. Like my friend was like, I don't like your Cardi B impersonations. You should be yourself. I'm like, bitch, I am. I'm being myself.
Now, I will say there were a lot of bitches doing Al before Cardi did, but Cardi just does it on a level that
She's famous
and
first.
she's famous.
So that's what it happened. All right. So
your favorite 5 albums this
I'm
year.
not. I'm gonna do it in no particular order, and
That's
I'm
fine.
going
That's
off
fine.
of my iMusic, so you know for sure. All right, so J. Cole
KOD?
definitely loved it. You know, I love that. Are we supposed to explain or just say the album?
Just let's look at the list
All right,
first. Let's
do
get the list first.
All right, J. Cole, Cardi B, of course.
That's Invasion of Privacy. Cardi B, Invasion
of Privacy.
Yeah, name the album.
Fuck what y'all thought. I love Drake's both sides, and I don't mind that he did all of those songs, even though all of them wasn't amazing.
Drake's Scorpion. So you're
Drake's
counting that as a
Scorpion.
favorite? Okay, that's 3.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna do Kanye and his 8 songs because I listen to that.
Yay.
Yes,
Yay?
yay.
Sorry, I said yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna do
That's
yay.
her list. That's her list. Hold
Okay.
on.
Okay.
And this is the stuff I listen to on the regular. And I got to do my Libra boo, Lil Wayne, Carter 5.
Okay.
All right.
That's 5.
that's 5? Okay,
We'll give everybody a 6-man though, out of fairness.
And then
So
Meek
I believe in
Mill.
starting 5 with a 6-man.
I wasn't Meek Mill. Honestly, I really have never been a download fan of Meek Mill, but
Okay.
this year he was in the song with Jay-Z, so that's why I downloaded it, and it was amazing.
Did you bump the album though?
Yes, I bumped the album
Okay.
a couple of times.
All right.
Yeah.
So those are your 6. Let's go with Reek. Well, your favorite 5, which is you starting 5 with your 6-man.
Okay, so I'm gonna do mine in numerical order.
Okay, cool.
Number 1 for me was Scorpion with Drake.
All right.
Love both sides. Number 2 was DiCaprio 2 by J.I.D.
Okay.
Number 3 was Invasion of Privacy by Cardi.
Okay.
Okay.
Ow.
Nigga said ow. The O-W. Ow.
4 for me was Championships Meek Mill.
Okay.
Oh.
5 was Nasir, the Nas album.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then my 6, I did a 10, but I'm gonna name my 6 and hopefully I can talk about my last 4 later. My 6 was KOD by J. Cole.
Okay. All right. Salim, yeah, what's your starting lineup with the 6-man?
Okay.
Hip hop albums.
Number 1's KOD.
KOD.
J. Cole, definitely. Number 2 then is JID.
Okay.
With the J.I.D.?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Number 3 is the Black Panther soundtrack.
All right. I count
That was just Kendrick Lamar.
No. That was
There was
TDE. That was
There was
There's a
TDE.
lot going
That
on
was
in that.
TDE.
There's a lot of great talent in
That counts. That counts.
Number 4 is Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD. That's
The I forgot the name
kid
of
from
that.
Chicago.
The kid from Chicago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sing it.
Sing.
Oh, yeah, I like
Yeah, that dude.
I'll
Yeah.
take your word
Yeah.
for it. All right.
And
You
then
gotta know who Juice WRLD is, though.
yeah, I was like,
He likes it juicy.
yeah. Number 5, got to go with Cardi B.
Invasion of
Invasion
Privacy.
of
All
Privacy.
right.
And then my 6-man is Travis Scott.
Oh,
Okay. All right,
Travis
so-
Scott forgot.
He's a 6-man.
So my list for the year, no order. I think I would say I bumped. I would say I would put Cardi's album in there, Invasion. I think I like the Black Panther. I was bumping that for sure a lot. I would go also with I thought the Dipset album was pretty fire.
Okay.
That Dipset reunion joint.
Download that.
So was
That
that
was good.
3? I like the Pusha T's Daytona
Okay.
Yeah.
for me. That was
That's
so.
definitely on
What's
the top
that?
10.
That's
That's
4. Whose album did I bump? There's a lot of music this year.
Wanna see the
It
list?
was.
Yeah, Rick did the professional job of making sure he had the list of all the biggest albums.
That's why he wanted to go through them.
No, for sure.
I know this nigga Nick ain't write his shit down.
I'm sure I didn't. And I like Queen, but I don't know if I said that was my top 5.
I can't because
top
she was
6.
too messy this year.
We can get
She
into
was
the
so
beef later.
messy.
We can get into the beef
Very messy year
later.
for
But the album was
Nick
still
It was
good.
a solid album, though.
It was a good album.
I can't.
So let's see. I think I'll go with I gotta go with the Black Panther soundtrack. I definitely bumped
said
that.
Black
one.
You
Panther.
said that
already.
already.
I did?
Yeah.
Yes, you need a
All
list.
Travis Scott.
Oh, I'm gonna go with So that's at 5 or my 6-man? Yeah.
You haven't even got to 5.
You have to. Your
So 5 would be the Travis, and then the 6th man, I'll go with Nas' album because I did enjoy Nas' album.
I enjoyed Nas'
All right,
album
so
too.
now
I didn't like it.
out of all those albums, we seem to feel like KOD was almost a consensus.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Cardi B was probably the
sure.
biggest consensus. We
That's
also
how-
the Black Panther. Who else did we say?
You know what's funny? I didn't have Black Panther in my 10, but I had it in my 20
Okay, all right.
How did you not have it in your 10?
I honestly only listened to that
you were
soundtrack.
listening to that like more than
I was.
anything.
That's how competitive this year. This was a very competitive music
It was
year.
so
'Cause I
much
just-
It was so much
music.
good shit.
There was so much music. I just went by whatever albums I was consistently
playing.
listening to
Yeah.
over and over and over.
Okay.
What's on
I
my
listen to a lot of
playlist?
music.
Okay, so we think.
I listened to the Book of Ryan, that Verse to 5'9" album more than I listened
heard
to the
that
Black
album.
Panther joint.
So is that a favorite?
Well, then that's a
Yeah,
favorite.
I had Book of Ryan after KOD.
Okay.
KOD came out kind of by itself too, and I kept bumping that one over and over. I knew that whole.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't really like KOD. I thought
Oh.
I liked it more than his last one, For Your Eyes Only. I
Yeah.
thought KOD was good, but it's like I can only listen to J. Cole if like I'm driving home somewhere.
See, that's
You
the
must
question.
have had. You must not be emo.
Are you a
then, 'cause if
J-
you've ever
are
been
you a J. Cole
depressed,
fan?
Right. If
You was bumping the hell out of J. Cole.
and I'm not saying like a J. Cole stan. I'm saying
We
you're
on
just
our
a
sad
regular
shit.
I'm
J.
not
Cole
a
fan.
stan. I do fucks with Cole. Like I thought the Forest Hills album is like one of his best albums. I did fuck with Born Sinner.
Did you listen to him before he dropped his mixtapes?
Mixtape
Like the
Cole.
blow up and the come up and everything?
I listened to the Come Up, and
Okay.
then like
Simba.
I started fucking with him
Simba,
with like
yeah.
around Every Day a Star Is Born when Jay first like launched them on Blueprint 3.
Okay.
So I've been listening to Cole like Friday Night Lights.
Got it.
I
Okay,
fuck-
so you
I do. I know
okay,
Cole's
so you
body
know
of
Cole.
work.
Okay, no, that's
I
that's
just
a
think
good
with
question.
Cole, like I've heard this on other podcasts too that I listen to. I think it's true. I think Cole is too much into doing his own production, no features. I think that was cool the first time he did it, but I think now it's like I look for him to like collaborate a little bit more because I think he's too into his own sound.
He should be. And the thing is that, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
The reason why I love that he's into his own sound so much is because everybody lets outside world influence them. The same thing you were just saying with these lists. Don't let the outside world influence you.
Okay.
He is really just doing music for the love of music and to spread his message. He's not worried about who's on his album, what albums are selling. He's just living the dream. And that's like,
That he does live the dream in the purest form of I do what I want, I drop what I want, I go tour, I help and reach out to the fans and people that I just want to help. You know what I'm saying? And then I go away.
But picking back up what you're saying, basically when he got signed onto Jay-Z's label,
Right. Rock
his whole
Nation.
music changed. He was not the same J. Cole that I felt.
They were trying to give him the commercial shit.
Exactly.
Right.
And then after he did 2 of those albums,
Right.
he did
With
Forest
that
Hill
one,
Drive,
Born
which is
Sinner.
Born Sinner, the Sideline Story and Born Sinner. Those are
Right.
his first 2 albums.
Right.
The third album was Forest Hill Drive.
Right.
He didn't think it was going to be successful. He's like, I'm making an album that only I'm going to fuck with. And it became his most successful album to
Right.
date.
That's his biggest
So why
and
not
his
keep
best
doing it?
So
album.
why not keep doing that?
Right.
Not just that, he has his own fan base. He makes $1 million a show. He
Right.
needs nobody.
He doesn't.
Which is, what artist can say that?
Well, the other thing too is
that?
like another point that he was saying. I think probably after Born Sinner was that like you wouldn't buy a Stevie Wonder album and be like, "Who's featuring on this?"
yeah,
That's true.
Exactly.
And it's like for some reason with rap music, that's like literally
Who
the
you
thing.
could put
Yeah,
on.
But
But-
features are a part of rap though.
But no,
But not
okay.
rap is a part of telling a story, not about of who's on your album. And he told
I'm not saying that it has to be every song needs a feature, but it is a part of the process. When you make an album, you have some collabs because
On
in
a
rap,
remix?
no, not on remix, on regular joints. You have classic records where maybe 4 of the best spitters get on a song and try to body each other, or one rapper and another rapper who is in the same tier has a back and forth, or when J. Cole's at the level where he's at now is trying to put one of his young cats that he's developing to spotlight them.
do how Kanye West and Kid Cudi did and do an album together if that's what you want.
No, that's not the norm. This is new shit.
He does it though.
Yeah, talk
he does
about
it in
that.
a reverse way.
Okay.
He features on other people's albums.
Right.
So this year has been the most features that J. Cole has ever done.
And I heard
He's
that
been
he
on-
was bodying features of
bodying
artists
every
that
feature.
you wouldn't necessarily maybe hear on a Cole album.
So I think
Yeah.
he's trying to do it just a different way.
Okay.
I think he's like, because I think you're right, but I think
Right.
he recognized that and he's like, I need to still be out there.
sure.
I'm going to do it in the way that I want to do it though.
Right.
Which again, that's dope. 'cause-
it's working because the album
I would-
still went platinum.
And J. Cole's just a cool dude. Like I asked him for a picture and he said no, but it didn't make.
What is your criteria for cool?
This is the thing. He was really nice about it.
Yeah.
And he
still
explained,
told you no.
But listen, he explained why he told me no. He didn't just say no and peace out. He was like, no, I'm really trying to enjoy the club right now. If I take a picture with you, it's going to be everybody wants to take a picture with me. And I appreciate that he felt that to take the 2 seconds to tell me why instead of just saying no and peacing out.
Well, you're better than the bitch from Australia who tried to ask Cardi in the mall for the airport for a picture,
slapped.
and then the publicist was like, "Bitch, fuck out of here," because she was like, "That's why your husband left you."
First of all, bitch, my husband ain't leave me. I left him.
Because she got denied a picture. People are so fucking fickle.
And she was walking with a freaking blanket over her head. Why would
Go ahead, Rick.
I got something to say about Jasmine's story. What club did you see J. Cole in?
Oh, this was Live Miami.
Oh, okay.
J. Cole was in the strip
I
club?
was in Live is not a strip club.
Wait, what?
I was in his section.
I mean, probably
But what
strippers
year
go
was
there.
this that J. Cole was even in the club?
This was when I was living in Miami, so it had to be 5 years ago. And J.
Okay, so this is
Cole,
when he was trying to
J.
be on
Cole
the
be in the
shit.
Dime all the time.
The Dime
He
in a
was
club,
chilling.
though.
Oh,
Dime is
You
a
gotta-
lounge. A
Back
bar.
to the Dime convo. There's rich niggas in there, but they dress like us.
Right.
Because Dave would pull up and Dave would be dressed like how we dressed.
And
Dave
now
Chappelle.
J. Cole is
Yeah.
perpetually dressing like a bum, which is fine.
He's-
Hey.
I've
I've
That's
seen
okay.
Baz.
He looked like a hippie nigga.
He's
That's
in
what
his
he
most
looked like.
comfortable.
And he's fine with that.
Yeah.
I've seen Baz in the Dime like twice, so I feel like Cole definitely would be in the Dime.
Well, I got a twerk session from Nicole Murphy in the Dime last week. So,
She's still fine as a motherfucker.
Yes. Okay. Let's keep back to the music. Okay. So I think we all agreed that we liked.
Oh, can I say one more thing about
Go
KOD?
ahead.
So the reason why I think KOD, it's the top of my list.
Okay.
Is because, well, one, it wasn't nominated for any Grammys, it was robbed. But two, the reason why is it has the most lasting effect this year because it's about kids doing drugs. And how many rappers, like this was a thing
The
this
lean
year.
shit, yeah.
The
It
lean
hit
shit,
me. It hit me.
The pills,
You do
everything.
lean?
I don't do lean, and I don't do. The reason why it hit me because it's like I smoke weed every day. You know what I mean?
Facts.
When I try not to smoke weed, it's like I really need to smoke weed, and it's like when I try to deal with certain situations without smoking weed, I see the difference. So like listening to that, it was like maybe I need to like actively try to deal with things without drugs.
Yeah, I mean, he literally just said, "We don't need drugs. Meditate.
Meditate.
It's just a
Don't
very
medicate.
And it's like, to me, it's not him trying to, be top down or
preacher
nothing.
or
Be a
something
preacher. He's just
But
kind of like
he's doing it in a very non-corny way. He's trying to enlighten, and it's like people.
It's a fine line.
And it's hard. That's a hard line to
Because
walk.
you don't want to learn when you listen to
especially in hip hop. So
Exactly.
I think we all felt like Cole was a disciple of Nas, and I think he is carrying that torch very, very
For
well.
sure.
Yeah.
And probably did it better than how Nas did it.
I liked his album
More
better
consistent.
than Nas's. I'm not
More
gonna lie.
consistent. Yeah.
Now, how many of us like Nas? Put Nas out?
I feel like it was
I
too
had Nas.
teachy.
You talking about Nasir?
Nas, yeah,
This
I liked
the album
it.
this year or Nas overall?
No, the Nas album that
This year?
dropped.
The
I
7
feel
song?
like I listened to it once full out and I liked it, but it wasn't in my constant
Exactly.
Right.
rotation.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I felt like people had issues because of what Kanye did and the beat selection or just the kind of things. But I felt like each song were like very good. Like I think Apple and Eve I must have been playing like all the time. The Cop Shot the Kid was pretty
Cop
dope.
Shot the Kid.
Regardless
That
of how you
beat was
feel about
incredible.
running long of
It's just a
the
lot.
Slick Rick sample. And it was like I mean, even though it was a short album and it was definitely a different thing for Nas to do, I still felt like he's at the top of his game rap wise.
Of
Like
course.
that never fell off.
I mean,
He's a lyricist.
for me, it's his best album since Illmatic. Because
No, what's
for sure.
Illmatic?
No.
I said since Illmatic. I'll
You're
put
saying his
Illmatic
best
and then
album since
Nasir.
you don't think he put out an album better than Illmatic in the 20 years that he's been around?
He's never gonna put out an album better than
You
Illmatic.
bugging. I already have. I already
no one
have.
ever will put out an album better than Illmatic.
I have a couple albums
That's
better
not a
than
diss
Illmatic.
on Nas or his discography. Just Illmatic is probably. It's like you got the three best hip hop albums of all time. Arguably, is probably like Illmatic, Miseducation, and Life After. I mean, not Life After. Ready to Die. You're not gonna get better than that. I don't care who you are. Nas is not gonna beat that, and that's okay. But I think since Illmatic, Nasir is the best one because one of his criticisms has always been. He can spit, but his beat selection is trash. And all of these beats was fire.
They were.
And his bars was up to par.
They were. It just wasn't. When I listen to it was more like if I'm listening to Nas, I'm in a different mindset. I'm not gonna listen to Nas while I'm getting ready to go out or getting ready for my day or something like that. But I still will.
He hasn't made
KOD.
one of those since Uchiwali. He's not trying either.
Yeah.
All right.
My problem with the
That was a
Nas
rough
album, I listened to it, but I felt like there was a glaring omission of not talking about the whole Khalees thing.
That's
And to me, that really, I was just like, bruh, you didn't. There's not one line
got
at
personal.
all.
Right.
And you're like, you're a personal dude. You talk about this shit, and you literally, obviously, decided not to talk about
Let
that.
us in.
Yeah,
Let us in. Let us. And you had that whole Instagram post. I'm like, that's great, but you
I
could have
wanna hear
talked
the
about
music.
this. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
can give you that.
that's my thing.
That's a good.
I love Nas.
That's a good criteria.
Yeah.
I think. All right. A majority of the group we like. Two of us like Travis. I think.
Oh no, I love Travis
Was
album
it in your
actually.
top albums?
Yeah, I listened to.
Do we consider it a hip hop album or an R&B album?
I don't know. It's kind of like a pop.
kind of in
This is
between.
Travis.
It feels like a
Travis,
pop.
yeah, Travis is his own sound.
Do we feel the same? All right. What about Drake though? Is that a hip hop album?
No,
No,
it's
because he
hip-hop.
split it into two.
He split
He
into
split
the
it
right.
into
He had the
He
rap
very
album
much
and
did,
R&B
yeah.
album.
Okay.
Travis Scott album is actually really good, and I listened to that late or whatever because I was at somewhere else and I was like, "Ooh, this is good," but I couldn't put it in my top because it wasn't. I didn't bump it the whole.
The whole thing.
The
You
whole
never.
thing.
Okay. All right.
But I do have it in rotation.
That is an album though that you could stop at like 8 and be good. Because I've listened to the whole thing only twice, but I did listen to the album a lot. But only I
that
was
first
like
half
8
of
or
the album
9.
There are
Fire,
certain
the first half.
sections where the songs really kind of connect to each other. And you
Yeah.
can just put it on and just have a few songs just play. And then there's this part where it kind of gets a little different.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
What's up?
How many of y'all knew that Sicko Mode was was the same song the whole time? Because every time I heard that song, I thought it was something wrong with my freaking iTunes. I'm like, why is it just switching my songs like this?
Yeah, they switch up the beats like
That-
Yes,
That's actually
and
the
then I heard it
reason
on
why-
Pandora, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's the same
It's the
song."
same song. That's what got me. He played me Sicko Mode.
Right.
I wasn't even looking out for Travis Scott, to be honest with you. Then I heard Sicko Mode, and it blew my mind because
It's
I'm like, what is this? This is a whole new type of way of making music. You're putting like 3 songs together, and it still works. I don't know what he's doing.
You never get tired of hearing
I never
that
got
song.
tired of listening.
No,
to
I
that.
So that's
love
like,
it.
and that's probably arguably like song of the year too.
It is.
It's 3
It
songs
is.
in one,
It's 3
literally.
songs in one, and it all works. And I'll say that about Travis. Like I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't really the biggest fan, but listening to his album, I really got to understand his genius. He's
Right.
a very smart dude,
For sure.
very creative. I
Super
love that
creative.
he's got this whole.
I love how he put Butterfly
story
Effect in
behind
the
it.
And he
album,
has a
too.
good head
Butterfly
on-
Effect was like an old song, but he still put it in the album, and I'm like, that's my shit. That's
And
my
not for
song.
nothing, he has a good head on his shoulders. I really love, and he's not an older rapper like Jay-Z. Now, of course, he was out in the streets, and now he's like pro family life and all that other stuff. Travis Scott is still a young rapper, and he's out, doing his business, taking care of his child, talking about how much he loves like the family life, and I really love that as well because you can be a rapper and still, promote positive life.
And
And
he
shit
had
like
he
that.
had a song about God on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a legit song about God. So yeah, he's outside of his Super Bowl performing at the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's-
that's
Wait, he's performing at the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
It's not
Maroon
official
5.
yet. It's not official.
That's Kris Jenner. She's like, you know what? You either gonna be on my team or the black team. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be surprised though.
Kris Jenner, I want her to be my manager. She's a smart bitch right there.
You want her to be your manager?
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, I take his
Pimp me out, mama.
One of her daughters is a billionaire now, damn near.
Though,
That's
and
crazy how
not the
Kylie
one
got
with the
the
sex
ability to
tape.
walk
Not the
Right.
one that everybody thought it was going to be.
Right. Yeah. All right. Damn. So since we are the Kardashian, I guess that's the closest thing to Drake. How many of us had Drake's album in
me.
our best?
He's top 10. He wasn't in my top 5.
Now, what I will
I had
say,
one.
Okay.
although
The Scorpion album, it was a great album.
I did love the Scorpion album, but I will say that I only listened to the Scorpio album by itself. It's not the whole album is not like in my constant rotation, my playlist, but I'll just sit and listen.
So you talk about you only
to that
listen to
album.
like one side.
No, I listen to the whole album, but I'll listen to it. I'll just be like, okay, this is a Drake day. I'm going to clean up or do whatever. And just listen to Drake. but
That
it's
speaks
not
a lot
like-
if you make a day for Drake.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
not like all the songs are not, like I said, get ready songs, get up and go songs, whatever.
I mean,
what
he
makes
just has
his
so many
albums great,
bangers on
though.
that album because it
There's a
has
lot of
every
bangers.
kind of mood that you want. Like
Yeah.
the mob ties to the biggest dance song with the Kiki, and then you got the guys playing. You got the fucking what was
Yeah.
the stripper club anthem? What's the
Oh, you talking about the joint
Nice
for all
for
the
what?
girls?
nice for what?
Yeah.
That does say a lot because you can get everything from this one
Emotionless.
album.
A song that never even really hit the
Oh,
radio.
yes, that was a good
That's
one.
probably the
Oh, the
best.
Mariah Carey. Yeah.
The best album cut.
Yeah, that was a dope album cut. Me and Rick played the Drake album. We was driving back from Vegas. We was bumping that shit. That's when I first heard the album.
That's gay.
And hey, it is not gay to drive back with your friend from Las Vegas, but
Listen to
but
Drake.
naked.
Yeah, the sunlight was very picturesque. It was very romantic.
Like, I wasn't talking about the sunlight. Why are you bringing up sunlight, nigga?
We sat there and we gazed at the sunrise while we
Because
listened
we left
to
at the
Drake.
crack. We left at the crack of dawn.
Speaking of cracks.
Speaking of crack.
And butt cracks. Oh, sorry.
So, okay, so those are the ones that we feel, okay, so let's get to the one where this is probably going to translate into one of the best overall albums of the year. Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every song you could bump except for Bodak Yellow.
Why? You know, you could bump that.
You just got tired of it by the time
Yeah, I got
the album
tired of
came
it,
out.
too.
I mean, I did,
But
but I was
every
still-
other song.
But I mean, still, it's one of the biggest hits in the last couple years, and then that was because Cardi's whole narrative as an artist was like, well, what can she do? Then we saw her doing mixtapes and shooting videos, and it's like, all right, she got a couple of little mixtape thingies. What next? And then like, well, is she ever gonna get like a real hit? And then she got a hit like in Bodak Yellow. Then this was kind of like. Not historic, because I'm pretty sure this used to be the norm before albums back in the day, but like you had never really seen in this like last 3 to 5 years where there's a song that comes out before the album
And
that's a hit,
kills.
and you're like, no, not that it kills, but that they're pushing a song before the album's even out.
Yeah.
Because usually back in the day they used to offer like a promotional single,
Yeah.
and like. Her single was like probably 6 months. They stretched it out before the album was done, and then we're like, "Is she ever gonna have anything after that?" And she became more than a one-hit wonder. So like,
features.
That album is amazing. You can listen to it back
sure.
over and over and over
the
again.
replay value on that album is really good, regardless of what her skill set is as a rapper, how new she is into the game. She and her team created
Amazing
a cultural album that like captured a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Sensitive side, ratchet side,
Yeah.
her
hood
struggle, her
side.
come up.
It was such a surprising album.
Let's look at
'Cause,
the track list.
Everybody was like waiting to see.
Now
whether
it's
or
been
not-
a year, and we usually should wait longer before you deem something. But do you think in the next 2-3 years it was probably still hold up as like a classic album
Oh,
in hip hop?
yeah.
I don't know if it's okay. For
I
me,
think so.
In
it wasn't
hip-hop.
it wasn't necessarily. I don't think it was a classic. I think everyone was just surprised that it was as good as it was.
Okay.
But a classic that's why I said it's still early. I
Yeah.
think
No,
that
no,
once
we
we
still
look
have to take
back
some
at
time,
it, we're
yeah.
definitely gonna look at it as a classic. Because
Yeah.
Bodak Yellow, that like when I said I didn't want to, I just got tired of replaying it. I had to take a break. But Bodak Yellow was everywhere on everything.
It was.
Everyone was.
And no one had a problem with it.
Men, women, everybody was jamming to it. So that's for sure going to be a classic.
And
Yeah,
then
you're
I
right.
think what she offers in terms of like, because of her background story and then in the songs that she kind of had, it has now inspired like strippers and
To be-
other
yeah.
girls in the nightlife to kind of do their music out front. Like, and she took it to a place where Eve and Trina really didn't, because those are rappers who did strip also, but
they
it was
weren't
taboo.
upfront about it.
But it was
also
it was
weren't
As
taboo.
upfront as she
You
is.
found out whatchamacallit, Eve was a stripper. I found out Eve was a stripper way
later.
after. Like it was a big secret.
Yeah.
Like you haven't had somebody that really comes out and owns their life or whatever.
Their
and
lifestyle.
that's I feel like while she hit it so much, because it's like, especially in this Hollywood, you're supposed to act a certain way. You're not
Supposed to hide
supposed
your
to
secrets.
you're not supposed to put certain things out. She's on there with her hair not done. She's on there with everything, like just showing you that she's a normal person. It makes you just want to be besties with her. It makes you want to support
Okay, I don't know if
her.
I want to be besties. Listen,
Oh, I am.
But her personality is a big
But her
part.
personality is what drives her music.
I mean, even in listening to her music, I liked her so much because of how goofy she was.
For sure.
She was talking about like, I'm the type of bitch that wears pajamas with footies. I'm like, that shit is funny. 'Cause I can
Yeah.
imagine that. That is
For
hilarious.
sure,
Who
for
says
sure.
that shit?
Well,
Go ahead, Rick. What you
also
gonna say?
too, like, I think it's one of those
track
things in terms. Well, I pulled up the track list,
Yeah.
but in terms of the classic status,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's like at the end of the year when they do like yearbooks or whatever, and like 5 years from now, when you look at 2018, you're not gonna be able to not talk about Cardi.
Oh no.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
gonna-
yeah.
like,
Even if she
literally
doesn't
in-
do anything else.
And all the current events of the year, you got to talk about. You have to talk about the resistance in Paris. You got to talk about Black Panther. You got to talk about Cardi B. And it's like,
Her meteoric rise.
yeah, it's like, and like the album itself is like I think the album's really just going to encapsulate 2018, because if you go down the track list, like Get Up 10, great intro, Drip Drip,
Yeah.
that shit was a banger.
Oh, I forgot about Drake.
Big Head,
That is
Big
my
Head.
song.
Of course, Bodak. Be Careful is like one of the most heartfelt like female like just rap songs in general.
And we had a year of 2 Lauryn Hill samples from the same
Right.
song, which is dope.
And Be Careful. That's like, that's some real, like men
That was a
and
real-
women.
yeah.
That was a great song.
Yeah, her song goes across the it breaks genders. Like
It does. Gender barriers.
The only
for sure.
song on here that was trash to me was Best Life with Chance.
That was one of my favorites.
Best Life was cool. Best Life was cool.
I like
I
Best
ain't
Life.
fucking
I like
with
that.
it.
I like that. I
listen
like
to
that positivity.
every
I'm a
morning.
fan of the positivity on
like
that one.
months.
I like it like that though. I like it like
Oh,
that,
that was
flip.
Oh, that was huge.
It was super huge.
Ring.
That was banging.
What was dope-
Moneybag.
Moneybag is
Moneybag,
banging.
But it's dope
Moneybag.
that
Moneybag
she
gave me
is a-
that New York vibe. That,
Right.
yes.
She bad.
She bad with YG
She bad.
through your phone, and I do like for the most part.
Yeah, every
Kind of like
song.
through your
Every
phone.
song.
That was actually a dope
I don't even need a
Every
new
song.
album yet. I'm still like, you know what I'm saying?
But no,
She
but for
still
real,
got
has
singles
she
could
had a
drop.
song that wasn't a hit?
No.
Has she
think-
had a flop yet?
Has she had a feature that wasn't?
No,
hasn't
that's what I'm talking.
released-
I'm talking about like all
Nah,
the things
she
that she's
hasn't really
been
missed.
featured on
She
since
hasn't
Bodak
missed.
Yellow.
She hasn't
Has she
missed.
missed yet?
She hasn't missed.
The fact that
That's
you can
fucking
say
impressive.
It's very
the
impressive.
only song I don't like on the album, and you have one song,
And it's
which
still a
is
decent
still a
song.
good
And then
song.
as soon as you
Fuck with it.
say it, everybody's like,
Everyone
"No,
else
I
fuck
love
with
that
it.
song."
Exactly,
Yeah.
like that's you can't touch that.
argue top to bottom. Like I think, I mean, that definitely is on the right track to a classic. Because like 2017, 2018, she's just been owning it.
Yeah.
So I can't take that away from her.
She revealed her pregnancy on Saturday Night Live, my nigga.
Act like Beyonce.
Right.
She has moments. She
Right.
constantly
She
knows how to
first
make.
of all, she had a baby and still had the best year.
Yes. Let's stop.
She had a whole baby.
That's true because there was a stigma that
And a
happened.
divorce.
She
Well,
not
it's not
divorced.
She's not divorced,
They
but a
might get
divorce
that.
claim.
Divorce claim. So yeah,
And she freaking fight at Fashion Week.
Right.
Now, Nicki Minaj's album was also
Man,
really
F
good.
Nicki.
Hey, you from Long Island and Queens? You're supposed to rap
I'm
Nicki.
from Long Island. I'm not. I know, but oh gosh, she's
The album was really fucking good.
It's her. She just had
antics-
a horrible year.
Her antics drove
antics.
down
I
the
just don't like
perception
what-
of the
But
album.
it's a
Finale
perfect
this year.
example of the difference between the two of them. It's
When
like
you're likable.
Cardi is accessible.
Yes,
She
she is.
just as a person, you're
She
like,
is.
You know
I
what?
can access this person. Whereas
when Nicki was the
is just
only
like,
one. She
One
could
more
do,
praise for Cardi's album. Invasion of Privacy with Cardi is almost as good as Bobby Brown's 1988 year.
I can see. I get the comparison because it's like she just dominated.
I see what you're saying.
So many
That
singles.
one album is amazing.
And he was just being
Stuff that-
himself.
and
being
everyone
just
himself,
kinda- yeah.
and it
But
worked.
then
and it
the
rocked.
influence that's gonna reap the culture afterwards because Bobby was the first bad boy R&B of his era, and then everybody else kind of emulated Bobby's style, going from
did.
Usher to Chris Brown. All the '90s R&B singers that came out, they're kind of doing some version of Bobby, of how
Yeah.
Bobby was sexual in his act in a way that James Brown and others before him weren't.
Even the superstar relationship.
That's true.
yes.
The
Now,
superstar relationship.
Yeah.
what I also say, I did.
Because we got to move on from Cardi though.
I did enjoy the Queen's album. I did enjoy it, but I did not play it after that first time just because I don't like when women like just try to go out of their way to bring down other women. And if it was just Cardi B, it'd be fine. But it's
See, y'all gotta
multiple
stop
people.
that. You gotta stop listening to not listening to somebody's music because you don't like an anti. Like Drake and Pusha T. I
ain't
still
listen to
bumped
Pusha T.
both albums. It didn't matter that they were
I
both.
ain't
Y'all
listen.
gotta stop taking sides like that. Like, you know what? Because they said such and such,
I'm a girl,
I'm not gonna
honey.
do that. Like, you can't. You gotta take that out of
Now
that.
that's part of
That's
fandom.
the girl in me.
That is part of
If you
fandom.
And that's the
wrestling fan,
loyalty
here I go.
in
no,
me
that's part
too.
of the fan.
Yeah,
So are you not part of what's Nicki's
I'm
thing?
not.
Are you not a
hell no. I've
Barbie?
never been
A Barbie?
though. I've never been a part of the Barbie gang or whatever.
Nigga, you trying to stand up for
Nicki
Queens
gang.
way too hard.
I never-
I
is.
low key trying to
You
keep
are
Queens alive.
This is the
All right.
thing. Before
Defending the
I've
queen.
never been a full fan of Nicki Minaj anyway. I've always went back and forth. When she came for Lil' Kim, I am a Lil' Kim fan.
I didn't like how she came for
You
Kim.
feel me? So I already was looking for reasons not to mess with.
But let me tell you
with
something.
Nicki.
I don't think I've even listened to a Nicki album start to finish, maybe outside of Pink Panther.
I have never, and
But I didn't like how she was taking shots at Kim and making Kim out to be somebody washed and because Nicki was being mad disrespectful. But then when this Nicki Cardi case came together, I get Nicki's
has
gripes as a woman and what she fights for and how certain shit happens and then they move on to somebody
I
else.
don't know because this is the thing. Cardi B hasn't given us a reason not to believe her. She hasn't. She
That's a
speaks
fact.
out
true.
on topics on a
Facts.
regular
Good point.
basis.
Good point.
Nicki Minaj has given us all the. She don't. First of all, she either doesn't speak out on stuff or tells a whole different
that
story
is
from
so
what
true.
multiple people are saying.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Like I saw this random video of Cardi B talking about that Brock Turner case, that kid who raped that
Rapist.
girl, and
Yeah,
then he only
got 3 months.
She had like a 5-minute video, basically just going in on it. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen Nicki Minaj do anything
On
like
a woke
that.
related tip.
Just on a on a woke related. But
I
yeah,
mean-
but just the fact I'm like, okay, so Cardi actually cares about this
She
enough to
does.
like
That's
literally
true.
take her phone out
And go
do
live.
go live for 3 or 4 minutes and talk her mind.
She's
about it.
connected, and I think that's what's gonna
Yeah.
keep her floating at the top of the rap game. So let's switch it over to R&B though, because I think we spend enough time on
Ooh.
hip hop. I think we got our favorite albums. Most of our favorite albums would probably lean over to consensus of the best albums of the year. So I want to get to R&B because we gotta keep it.
I don't know if I did.
If you didn't do R&B,
Well,
just
I got
Tiana
R&B.
Taylor.
let's throw out a couple albums.
Yeah, I got-
No, my-
Tiana Taylor
I
from
keep the
front
same
to
energy.
beginning over and over and over again. It is amazing, especially WTP, which may not be technically R&B. Ella May.
Okay, I thought
This
so. Her album.
album. I missed that
Elevate.
album.
Oh my God, you can still go back and listen to it. It's freaking amazing. Summer Walker, Girls Need Love Too. That song. Oh my God,
I heard about that. I didn't listen to that.
amazing. Her. I don't remember the name of her album. And Chloe and Haley. Their album. I have to keep reminding myself that they're not children because it kind of fucks
Talk
up the
about
way
the
I listen
twins.
to
Twins,
it.
right?
They're not
Yeah.
twins.
Oh, they're sisters?
sisters.
They look like twins.
But that album was amazing too. Oh, R&B. Definitely
you get
came
into
back
your
with
R&B
it.
bag.
Definitely get
I'm glad that you got into your R&B
Actually,
bag.
I got some R&B albums.
Go ahead, put 'em
so
out
for
there,
me, I'm going with Keep the Same Energy for sure.
Oh, sure.
Who's that?
That's for
Tiana
Tiana
Taylor.
Taylor.
Okay.
Phony People, Mosaic.
Okay.
Mac Miller's album was more
Oh,
of an R&B
yeah.
album than a rap album because he sung the whole album.
Oh, really? Okay.
This is gonna be a controversial pick. XXXTentacion's album.
Stop it.
I knew he was about to say that.
First of all, I don't even support him because he be saying nigga and he's not black.
No, that's Tekashi.
Oh, okay.
at you.
Sorry.
That's a different.
Whatever one it is, I don't support him.
Triple X has a whole bunch of other shit.
Right, but
that
other people you probably don't
I'm
support.
sure you
Oh,
would not
and the
support either.
raping, all of that.
A lot
Yeah.
of shit.
And I'm gonna go with the Jacquees album, even though he had Birdman on there. But
Jacquees, I can't go another Jacquees.
Nigga, you picked
out
the king
here.
of R&B, the fake king of
The
R&B.
fake king of
Bobby
R&B.
Valentino though.
He had an album.
Bobby Valentino did not have no album. He just had a girl. A girl
He was
flame.
trying to say he was the king.
Oh,
of
The
R&B.
Weeknd had an album too that was good.
I
The
just bumped
Weeknd.
the Weeknd's was banging.
It was good. It was good.
banging. I bumped. I thought. Well, even though it's at the tail end of the year, Dreams project was really good. He just put out his R&B album.
Oh, did he? Oh, I
he
need to
got a
download
project?
that.
Yeah, he got a new. He's put out like 40 songs in like installments, but he just put out the first part of the album.
used to
I
be a
got
big
to put
Dream
up
fan.
Tory Lanez's shit. Tory Lanez's his R&B album was really dope. I would probably say Drake's B-side, The Scorpion, would probably is something I was rocking a lot. You know, it's funny. The Scissors was 2017, not 2018.
But I still bumped it in 2018. It's
That's
still
for
relevant.
for sure was.
Still
All right,
relevant.
here's a question:
What's up?
Who do you think's album was better, Scissors or Solange's?
I didn't.
Wait, no. What's the conversation? Birds of
Because
the
I
Sky
feel
won
like-
the Crane thing.
Yeah, I feel like Solange had the best R&B album of 16, and I feel like SZA had the best R&B album of 17.
You went back too many years for me.
Yeah, that's like jumping. It's hard. That's hard. That's a hard
You know,
debate.
R&B,
shit.
that's how it be
Especially when we have
sometimes,
Ella
man.
May that came out that kind of gives you
LMA
SZA
was
vibes a little
good.
bit. And anybody that can really pull out that that emotion, you know, make you want to cry. That's a good R&B album. Or make you want to come or cry.
Come
you
on,
go.
cry.
What
Those-
you had, Lean?
Mine is still Juice WRLD.
Yeah, I was
Because his whole thing was like it was basically like a emo R&B, and me being like a old like Panic at the Disco fan from back in the day,
Okay.
and hearing this mixed with like some R&B rap shit, it was something new and different that I really liked. And plus, the whole album was basically about him talking about a breakup.
Okay.
So it was this cool little concept album. It had a lot of like you said, emotion to it. Like I could feel like he was really talking like deep about this.
So
breakup.
who do we think had the best year for like R&B? Like who do you think? Like,
LMA.
Travis, and Ella?
LMA.
Probably
Travis
LMA.
Scott is
Travis
not.
is
That would be
Travis.
pop or
Yeah, he's
hip hop.
Prince.
It
He's
wouldn't
like,
be R&B.
He only got a category of music. He just doesn't stay.
It wouldn't be
So
R&B.
you would have put him
though.
in like the R&B,
Nah.
like Chris
I would say-
Brown's albums
Nah.
or okay. Chris was Chris albums this year?
No,
Chris-
He was
hasn't
featured
really-
on a bunch of
album.
shit, and he had that.
He
He
got
had
the
a couple
40-track
songs with
album.
The double album
Jordan
that was
Lucas.
last year or 2018 or 2017?
That was last year.
Oh, that was last year.
That was
Yeah,
2017.
that was
yeah.
last
He dropped the
year.
double. Okay, so that's not this year.
I would
All
say LMA because didn't she get discovered off of Instagram too?
Okay, but that's not why you have the. I'm just talking about their
Her
music.
story, though.
Her story
Well,
is
I'm
great.
saying
Yeah,
her
yeah.
story
I get what you're saying. Okay.
Paired up with the music, I listened to her album back to forth on the regular.
Boot Up for sure is like probably the R&B song of the
Tripping.
year.
Yeah, Trippin' was a big song.
Tripping. Oh my god!
You know,
Trippin's a
speaking of
banger.
Jacquees, his version of Trippin' was fire.
I'm done with Jacquees.
Nigga.
Jacquees made good music,
But then,
man.
and then
I
he
mean,
fucking
he on-
ruined, and then he
he
fucking
on
ruined
make-
Candy Rain,
he
nigga.
ruined
So
it.
so
He
so
ruined it.
fuck him.
And then
And
what was
he
that
dressed
Chris
good.
Brown video thing I
Yo,
saw
what
him
do you
into?
like him? You want to date him? You dress good. Fuck out
He
of here.
was enjoying the sunset with you, Nick, earlier.
This is the last time someone was like, "Yo, he dresses good."
Yo,
That's
Rick-
a part of.
I'm a fan.
That's a part of the whole
The
aesthetic.
pants
man.
was
Nigga,
banging.
Them pants.
Yo, Rick
matches really good.
Rick probably on the low like Safari's music.
Yo, I do.
Y'all
fuck with
leave
Safari.
Safari.
I know you
I
do.
do love
too.
Safari. You do.
Yeah, I did too.
Y'all
Yo,
leave
West Indian
Safari
ass
alone.
nigga.
Yo, I just saw this old clip of Nick.
Right? I was trying to think of what
That
you
shit was funny.
Nah, he has like a couple songs. I actually like some of his music.
You
It's
can't
not-
be a West
I
Indian
just don't
nigga
like
and
that
not
he
fuck with
keep-
Safari.
I gotta fuck with
I just
Safari.
don't like that he keep crying. Like what do you like? Come on.
You know what I say Tory Lanez had a good R&B.
That album was banging. Tory's album.
I didn't really-
But he also was in the headlines like every other week.
when he was because he was like he had like a fake rap beef with what's
Yeah,
his name?
and it
I will
was
say
John
this about
Lucas.
Tory Lanez. This is the year that I realized that Tory Lanez can actually rap, and I'm like, you
Oh,
should
yeah,
be doing
yeah.
that.
How we putting?
Like, why are
oh,
you?
okay, I
You're a
got
good,
you.
He
you're a good
mixes
R&B
both.
singer, but like
Yeah.
you can
He
release.
kind of does the
legit
Travis.
rap
He does
album.
the Travis type of thing.
He does, but yeah,
He can sing better
He
than
can-
Travis though.
He can sing better.
I
than
he can
that.
swear to God,
actually
I
sing,
did
but he
not
can
know
also
anything
rap.
about Travis Scott until he started dating Kylie, and then I looked him up, and now I'm like, how I've been missing out.
But you're paying attention to the wrong stuff.
I
Focus
know,
on
I know.
the music,
I'm
girls.
sorry. Girls.
What else could we?
Oh, Anderson .Paak. God damn it!
Oh yeah, Anderson
I didn't-
.Paak.
How was that album? I
downloaded that
Amazing.
late. It's really
It's
good.
good?
That's a good.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
I'm
like-
I'm gonna
that
check it out. I'm gonna check it out.
I was late on. I just downloaded him like maybe
Oh
last
my God, I
week.
can't. You know what? I had him in my favorites, but it wasn't in my top 10. But yeah, I listened to Anderson .Paak a lot.
Oh yeah, he
that
was
shit
nice.
was good.
Okay, I should look him up. I don't really.
Cause he's kind of like a rap singer too, but he plays all the instruments and he's like really soulful, so he kind of fits more in like a.
He's more like a
neo
Stevie
soul.
Wonder.
Yeah, D'Angelo hybrid. Like you should be
Gotcha.
doing shit with Questlove actually.
Okay. All right. I gotta check out Anderson. All right. So I think we got music, our favorites, and I think what we probably consider the best, and we'll see what happens during Grammy season and Billboard. I mean, even though that's
none of our
not
stuff.
just because if they win the Grammy nominated, it doesn't mean that this is what it is. We kind of highly respect a Grammy because I think it's a hard accolade to achieve, but it doesn't mean that they know what they're talking about when they
for sure.
nominate people working in these categories. But so I think we covered the gist of our favorite music and spotlighted that. I want to shift this over into to films because I think everybody in here loves to go to the movies. I think all of us can say that we saw a ton of movies this year. So let's reverse it. So let's talk about what is probably considered some of the best films that came out this year. On a dramatic standpoint, we'll get into the acting bag because I think you guys probably watch a lot of dramatic films.
So we want to do different genres.
Yeah, we'll do genre because it's not fair to lump some movies and compare them because it's different
So do
purposes
you want
that
to
you
do
go
it?
to see.
'Cause like the New York Times just released they top 10 list. Do you want to go for that, or do you want to just talk
as filmmakers, do you guys respect what the New York Times?
I don't respect what any of these
I don't know what this
publications
list
be
is.
talking about.
You shouldn't respect.
Should we
what
just
any
go
of
with
these
our
publications-
favorite like dramatic film?
Okay,
right
let's.
now?
All right, fine. I guess
But are we trying to go through what we think late, or what people generally?
No,
think?
let's
we
talk
like-
about what the people generally.
the people,
Okay.
the general.
to be
consensus.
honest,
What's up?
I
Do you
was-
go to a lot of movies?
I don't because you know what?
Okay.
I didn't, but I didn't go to a lot of movies this year. But I do think that Netflix had a lot of good movies. That
All right, but
popped
if
on
you
there.
haven't watched anything, Jazz,
So I'm
then-
just gonna-
yeah, you're gonna have to just sit it out. I'm sorry.
I tried to insert myself and it didn't work.
I feel you, and I feel it's a good point. You
Yo,
like,
that
but if you ain't watched,
hate you,
if
Nick.
you ain't watched no movies, what can you can't offer the conversation?
Touche.
You can't. I'm sorry. Look,
I hate when Nick be right. He
we
just-
can't go off of hearsay.
Right.
All
We
right,
can't off of
go.
hearsay.
Yo,
I'm gonna. Okay, I'll do this. So, one of the movies that is doing really, really well right now that it looked like the general consensus about it was that everyone loved it was Black Klansman.
All right, I saw Black Klansman.
Right, but for me, the movie that I think people should be talking about more that's better than Black Klansman is Sorry to Bother You.
All right, let's go. We can deep dive because we saw both of them. So
Yeah.
let's did you see any of them? No. All right, Jasmine.
okay.
Sorry, you gotta sit down.
Okay, it's all good. Well,
Sit this one out, Jasmine.
Let me see other dramas. I think.
No, but let's break that. Let's break that down. So we'll talk. We'll get into our black filmmaker bag. Two legends: Spike Lee with Black Klansman and an up and comer. What's his name?
Boots Riley.
Boots Riley, who wrote "Sorry to Bother You," Black Klansman. All right, let's go. Which one do we just like more on a personal level? Salim,
Personally, Sorry to Bother You.
Reek.
Sorry to bother you.
Okay, I fuck the Black Klansman more.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, this is gonna be an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
All right. What did you like more about Black Klansman?
Okay, now outside of what I learned after Black Klansman,
That was a big one. That was a big part
is
of
a
it.
big
That was a
in
big
terms
part
of
of
the
it.
But taking that out of it.
Taking that out of it?
Taking that out of it.
I enjoyed the stakes of Black Klansman more. I
Okay.
think John David Washington, I think he's a solid actor. I actually think the actor with the best chops to me was Adam Driver. I thought he was probably the most powerful person in from scene to scene. I just think the setup of him being in Denver or Colorado, the fact that most of these events were true where he pretended to be a white person on the phone to get the KKK and win their trust over in a sting operation, and then having Driver in there's ties to the Black Panther Party and their movement. I thought one of the best monologues that I saw from an actor standpoint this year was what's his name, the brother who played the
Corey Hawkins.
Corey Hawkins.
Oh, he killed that scene.
I thought he had a great one
dope.
scene where he just came in there, did his thing, and it was like, wow, that was amazing. In just terms of like the stakes that were at the end of the movie, when he's trying to make sure he saves the person's life, the bomb in the car, then cops actually stopping him, they're not believing that he's an actual cop. I think those were just very like tense moments, and I really connected with just that struggle of a brother who doesn't have any kind of support and really trying to like bring justice to a cause that obviously is heartfelt to Black people, and to other people, because the stuff that the KKK has done throughout their time in America. I just think Spike Lee just told a really great story. I feel like this was probably one of Spike's best movies in the last 5 to 10 years, because we could kind of say he was in a sort of a slump at the movies.
Oh, I agree with that.
This is best film in the past 15 years.
This is his best movie since
Best
Inside Man.
I said Inside Man. Yeah.
That's his best. Yeah,
that was 15 years ago.
No, that was like 08. So
No, that was like
years.
05.
No, that was like 08. That was like, is it?
Let's look this
Yeah,
up.
look it up. Look it
it up,
up.
let's look it up.
But we all have a general consensus that was his
That's
last
Spike's
good
best
movie.
movies
Last
in
good
like the
movie.
last 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's where I like Black Klansman. Sorry to bother you. I felt was good up until I saw Horses.
No,
That's what
the
made it
best
better.
part.
No.
Oh my
And then this is my
God,
other
no.
issue, because that the fact that the white guy wanted him to be the Martin Luther King for the horses after they all
Inside
start
Man
getting
was
breeded.
2006, so it's 12 years.
It just kind of lost me with that. I'm sorry. I liked the stance of the first part of the movie, which was the people in the office wanting to get paid more, like the way him and Jermaine Fowler and Lamont Stanfield, what's his name?
Lakeith
Stanfield. Sorry. Well, I thought it was going to be in that kind of direction, and then I just didn't understand going to the party and the horses. I kind of just was like, fuck this movie after that.
Oh, really?
So go ahead,
Damn, okay.
break it down, enlighten me. Maybe
No.
there's a part of the movie that I don't understand. So,
No, well, it's,
with those scenes having to play out the way it did, why the white guy wanting him to do that matters and why it's significant. So tell me why that is a brilliant movie.
no. You know, you
I
go,
was-
you
let me
go
get the
first.
white
Somebody
guy.
said
okay,
the movie
first.
pass.
You go
I
first.
think that what Boots was basically saying is that every movement that's been started with Black people, the white man interjected. And even if you look at like an X and King, even when you watch Selma, like Martin Luther King was having meetings at the White House. You get what I'm saying? That's
Yes.
why he got a holiday, because white people were comfortable with him.
In the
They
room.
didn't want X.
And no,
you get what I'm saying? And then Boots himself, in the landscape of Black filmmakers in independent films, every year they pick one nigga. Boots was the chosen nigga for this year. So by him making that statement, he knows. You get what I'm saying?
And,
Okay.
and I want you to go back to continue your point, but going off of that, the thing that's so fascinating to me is that both of these movies represent exactly what you're talking about. To me, when I see Black Klansman and I get to the end of the movie and I hear about all the history behind it, and of course, he had that scene at the end where you're like, oh, this cartoonishly, racist white person,
Right.
we're gonna have all these other good white people
Yeah.
help them, help out this racism. I'm like, that never happened. They had to figure out the good white people to put into the movie. And it was crazy that Spike Lee allowed that, because before he used to be so revolutionary where he was more like Boots Riley,
Yeah.
who was like, I need the movie to be about the fact that this is a Black revolution that gets co-opted. So the movies can actually be watched in conjunction to each other in a weird, in a very interesting,
That's a
weird
very
way.
good point. So you kind of feel like Spike in his elder age, we say, maybe has softened
Yes,
his stance.
big
So he
time.
doesn't fight it as hard as in terms of his choices of white leads in their service to a movie.
And
If he's covering a historical thing or not,
he's got even his views on policing. Like,
Yeah.
he's not. I think when he made Do the Right Thing, it was very much fuck the police, and now he's very much kind of like they're good police. We need to figure out a solution,
It's because he's rich now.
which is an evolution, and like he's allowed to do that.
Yeah, but
I don't think it's just because he's rich.
You think,
What do you think it is?
I think that because you shouldn't be pushing hate anyway. And there's a lot of fucked up police officers out there, we know. But it's also good to see both sides of the story so you know what they're having to go through as well. And then also, I feel like if we do have the non-fucked up police officers back more, then maybe they'll get some balls and get the fucked up ones out of there.
okay, I want to keep it on the films. I don't want
okay.
to go too off the point.
The other
but-
thing I say about Spike as
Yeah.
not a critique. This is actually like a major point to him as a filmmaker. Black Klansman was very enjoyable, and it was good for a lot of reasons, because when you think about a Spike Lee film about the Ku Klux Klan,
For sure.
there's two things you're supposed to be expecting: excessive violence against Black bodies and excessive sex. And he didn't use any of those tools in this film.
Yeah.
Like this was like, it was like very mature Spike film, and it was very watchable and enjoyable. And I think that's why critics are loving it, because
Right.
most of the critics are white, and white people can watch this without feeling accosted. Where I feel like in his earlier films, you couldn't watch a Spike film as a white person and not feel bad about yourself.
And that goes directly into what I was saying. White people love Black Klansman.
Yeah.
They love that film.
They do.
They have nothing bad to say about it. And I talked to a lot of white people about Sorry to Bother You, and a lot of them were like, I just didn't get it. And that to me explained everything about those two films.
Okay, all right.
And America.
In
America.
Because Sorry to Bother You is the most revolutionary film about anti-capitalism I've ever seen. And to me, the success of it, I'm sorry, to me,
And it was successful.
It was successful, but not as much as Black Klansman.
For sure.
And I think that because the reason it not being as popular as Black Klansman shows me that it was a success in being anti-capitalist because they didn't want it to be out as big as a Black Klansman type of movie.
Okay, all right.
But it also wasn't as successful because Sorry to Bother You was only in. Were they both in select
It was in
theaters?
select, but
it wasn't
Black
as
Klansman
promoted.
had a bigger budget.
Exactly.
It was a
wasn't
wide
promoted.
release.
Yeah.
Klansman definitely had a bigger budget for screens
You found
and
out
stuff
Sorry
like
to
that.
Bother You after the fact the movie was already playing for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So outside of our pro-Black talk on filmmaking, what else dramatically did you guys?
But there's a lot of really good dramatic Black films.
No, just with those two
Let's do
movies?
overall. Let's do overall.
Overall films or for
dramatic
those two?
films.
Not Black. We'll get back to Black later, but let's just talk about films
Beale
in general.
Street. If Beale Street could
Beale
talk.
Street could talk.
Okay.
Was
There's the Korean film Burning that everyone's saying is another one.
haven't
film.
seen that
I haven't
yet.
seen it. Well, it's not out in LA.
What came out going into like Oscar season? and
Widows came out.
Widows.
That was a movie that a lot of people were expecting
expecting.
more from,
Okay.
and it was good. It just had a
Who's in
really
that?
weird twist. It had Viola
That's a Steve
Davis,
McQueen
the
film
Steve
with-
McQueen movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't
Brian
get a chance to
Tyree
see
Henry
that,
is
but
in
you guys
it.
did.
Dan
Yeah.
Kaluuya is in
Yeah,
it.
he was.
You guys like it or no?
I loved it.
It was great. I mean,
There's critiques.
there's definitely some critiques on it. I'm not going to say like those critiques make me not like the film.
Okay.
But it's just like I would have done a different choice. But then again, that's Steve McQueen.
Neeson
I
was in it.
don't love all of his choices.
Okay.
He has a lot of weird choices. And you just kind of have to rock with it.
You know a movie that came out this year that was really good, but that got killed because of Kevin Spacey?
What, All the Money in the World?
Yes.
I didn't
was
see
last
that.
year.
Oh, that was last year?
That was 2017.
Damn. All right, my bad. All
But,
right. Keep going.
Was it good with the new dude that was in there?
Yeah, he was great.
Christopher Plummer?
Yeah, he was great.
Okay.
It was great. I'm sure Kevin Spacey would have killed it too, but I mean, that movie's premise was just amazing.
Do you guys consider A Quiet Place a drama
That's a
or a
horror.
horror film? Because it had some great drama in it
It's
as well.
kind of a hybrid.
It's kind of like a hybrid, right?
That's what I think makes it good.
yeah.
I think.
Horror films are always dramatic anyway as well.
Yeah.
Nah, they can be very silly too, though.
They can be silly. They can be just jump scares, or it could be like
Right.
A Quiet Place work because of its emotion. You're like really feeling these characters and what they're going through.
Speaking of horror, let's bring up probably the biggest horror thriller that's out right now, Bird Box. Have we all watched Bird Box?
Lord.
I watched Bird
It
Box.
made it to
Finally, I can
Jasmin
see.
saw a movie.
God
There we
damn.
go. All four of us can discuss.
Get this Bird Box.
Somebody take me out on some dates next year.
It had 45 million streams. She definitely had to be one of those.
Listen,
It broke records. I think
I watched Bird Box.
what started at is what most people would probably say, and before it got like a wave of trendy to check it out and give your think piece whether you liked it or not. I thought it was a decent film that maybe got overhyped in certain capacities, and some people definitely killed it. What I will say is that it's divisive,
It made you think.
and I think a movie I think most filmmakers' agenda is probably the top agendas when they're making something is to be divisive. They're
or to
going-
affect
What I
somebody
would
in a
say-
certain
to
way.
affect
yeah.
something.
Nigga,
make
you got
think.
that from me. I said
What?
that 4 days ago.
That's not true, nigga. But divisive is my favorite words. I've been.
I never heard you say that
My
word.
You don't
before.
say divisive.
That's not true. I've been pushing the divisive narrative since Batman versus Superman.
All right.
Because that's a very divisive film.
What I would say-
That is a general consensus. That's a terrible film.
What I would say.
It's not terrible.
It is a horrible
watch
film.
the
It is.
extended cut.
One of my
you will
favorite-
I saw
understand.
that. No movie should
extended
have an
stuff was
extended
bullshit,
cut
too.
for you to actually enjoy it. Anyway,
All right.
What I will
that's a whole
say.
other nerd conversation.
All right,
We'll have
all right.
another point.
What I will say about Bird Box is it says a lot that I watched it at 12:30 drunk and stayed up the whole time and paid attention.
All right,
It
Jasmine.
takes a lot. It takes a lot for you to pay attention to a movie at certain times.
Yeah.
But also
I can't give movie credit off of asterisk of a significant.
it was
of a specific
interesting is what I'm
situation.
saying. What I'm
Okay.
saying is that it was interesting. It kept you looking at it. But I'll also say is I hated the ending. I wanted more. I didn't just want it to just be like, oh, okay, we made it. And it was just a little bit confusing at times. So I'm probably going to rewatch it a couple of times. But I don't think that it was as big as everybody is making it. But I do think that it was a good movie. And the reason why I think it was so big is because it looks like a feature film that should be in the movie theaters, yet it was on Netflix.
I mean, it was the budget of a big feature.
Exactly.
So like some people don't get that
There's
confused.
a lot of Netflix films.
Most of the Netflix films that come out there when they're big, when they're getting these A-list actors, it has the same money pumped into it as of a major feature.
Yeah.
I think with Bird Box, I read an interesting article on Yahoo that says that it's really about white people not seeing racism.
I saw that.
Do we
I read
agree on
that.
that? You read? Yeah,
read that
my shit
article.
got more shares than anything that I
Yeah.
posted about me this year.
Yeah, it was dope.
you can.
My article got 33 shares.
Well, I read two things.
Okay.
One said that it's a movie about the modern
Religion.
epidemic of social media.
I can see the social media part
And then
more than
the
racism.
Well, and then I mean, the white part is it's basically that once you make people aware of racism, they don't want to see it.
Right.
They don't want to see it at all.
So then, would that be that Sandra Bullock didn't want to see the racism? Then wouldn't that mean
I guess
that
it's
since
all
she
of
was
them.
wearing a blindfold and
They also said that she was problematic. Like she made everything worse.
she had a really bad attitude. She did. She was not, and I didn't.
She
like
also
that.
was a pregnant woman, so let's also be
She was
mindful of that.
pregnant, and but
Yeah,
I'm
what
not
about
talking about
that
she's pregnant.
time?
I'm talking about
that 5
Hold on, one at a
years.
time, one at a
John
time.
Malkovich was the most problematic character.
pregnant does not make you problematic. That's number one.
Being
Pregnant-
pregnant-
It wasn't her pregnancy. It was her
after.
personality.
It was after
It
she
was definitely
had
her
the baby.
personality.
Compiled with the pregnancy.
Yeah, that added
The
to
fact
it.
that she didn't even give them names.
Yeah, boy. and
I
girl.
fucking love that. I think that's
Dog, how about the
She didn't
entire
give them
time
hope.
I was thinking about like after that, like someone's gonna say the kid's name. He's like, yeah, it's kind of weird because I just knew my name as Boy for the past 5 years.
You know why I like that? I like that choice of actually writing that because we're taught to always give kids an imagination, a fantasy, and play
Okay,
out. Listen.
yeah.
So they went going against the grain of that because she doesn't believe in fantasy and imagination. She's like, we have to be practical. We have to be in the now, and the now
was like
is
that before the shit.
we might not make it. Like shit is fucked up, and I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like the world's good when it's not good. We are in dire circumstances, so I'm not gonna give y'all niggas names so y'all can get attachments. You're gonna be boy and girl until we figure this shit out.
But that was the purpose of that
still a
relationship
name,
anyway,
though.
because you do
Right.
have, whenever you have a relationship, especially in movies, you want to have a balance. And so she was that super negative person, but then she had someone that was giving a imagination, like, oh, you know, one
Yes,
day
her-
you're going to be able to play outside
black
and stuff
boyfriend.
like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, that
Because
was
black men are
piping her down.
amazing. I know, we could have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I fucked with Bird Box.
I did.
I did.
I don't think it's amazing.
yeah,
I thought it was
It
cool.
was. It was very
a good-
It was a
watchable.
little bit better than The Happening.
That's what people
was
say.
way
If you
better.
watch The
Yeah.
Happening,
The Happening
that's
was horrible.
That's a template.
No, this was.
But it's better than
Happening.
no. I'm saying it's like better than that.
But I felt that Happening is almost unwatchable. Like this
It
film,
is.
you can watch.
this has internal logic to it to a certain
Yeah.
extent, and then when you start thinking about it, it doesn't.
Yeah, you can't
You
think
really
about
can't.
shit. You just gotta
can't
watch
think
it.
about it for more
But
than
the
3
fun
seconds.
of movies,
Right.
the fun of movies is to be able to have so many different hidden stories. Like
That's
that
true.
brings up the,
That's true.
the conversation.
Okay.
I just can't. I don't know what it was that made it a pop cultural thing.
No, I know. I tell
Me
you exactly what it
neither.
is. No,
the meme culture
that's what
because
it
of
is.
the memes with the blindfolding and just
So
using
You got that from
No,
Salim.
no.
it's-
We haven't talked about it yet. No, but basically, this is what I was saying to Tarik. Is like the biggest movies now take off if they're memeable.
Yes. for sure.
Is a movie memeable? We had Halloween, that was memeable.
Get Out.
Get Out,
Yeah.
right? If you have them, and it's hard. It's funny because I can tell
Rel's
that
2
studios
for
are
2
trying
right
to
now.
figure out.
Yeah, Rel making
how to
great
do it.
choices.
He did,
Right.
But it was
He needed to
all
stick
it
to
was
the
all
shout-
natural.
Shout outs to Lil Rel.
Yeah, Rel
Hey.
was
and,
doing it.
and his movie picking selection.
And
Hey,
his memes.
everybody loves him as the
He's
black
a great
dude.
meme. He's like you can meme his face so easily.
It's
The
true.
fact that it says if you see this guy, that means he's saving your life as a
Exactly.
black man.
Exactly.
That's
That's dope.
amazing.
That's his
His
role
facial
now.
expression gives a lot to the camera. He
Yeah.
knows how to put on. He does really great camera work.
That's the
So that's a skill.
Yeah.
You know what though? To the meme, it's really a horror film thing too, though, because like, well, especially because like, I think with horror
But
films,
A Quiet Place was not memed like this one was. That's the thing.
there were a couple of memes.
But not like this.
Nah,
not like
because
this.
you have,
It
because
depends
this is
on
how
who's
it
watching the
translates. Like
movie.
love and
True.
hip hop is very memeable because of what happens when we see moments of like somebody screaming and crying, somebody eating a chicken, somebody with a funny looking hat on. Like there's just like images that gets captured that you can write jokes on it, you can write captions on it that really just take it away. Not every
Yeah.
movie has that ability.
Yeah.
Like. You know, Black Panther, we got the "Is this your king?"
Yeah,
we
there
got
was
the
tons.
Wakanda, we got the
There's so many.
when you know what I'm saying when
Yeah.
Daniel Alucale is looking at him side eye, like the meanest side eye ever. There's just certain things that happen in film because there's 100 movies put out every year. Not
Yeah.
everybody can
It's probably
leave a
like
lasting
5
effect.
That to me is the
10
most
If you
movies
get a
actually
good
part.
meme, people are gonna want to watch the movie because people have a huge case of FOMO, fear of missing out.
There was so many
That's-
of them
that's
for
a good
Bird
point.
Box too, where like I couldn't avoid it. I was like, fuck it, I just gotta see.
Yeah,
this
and that's
shit.
honestly the reason because I watched the first 10 minutes of it and I actually fell asleep.
Really?
Just because it was very, very tired. It had nothing to do with the movie. The reason why I made myself go back to it is because of the memes.
Oh, yeah.
And because I was like, what the fuck am I missing?
Yeah.
And even though I heard people saying it's not that great, I was like, I still have to watch it now.
For sure.
I watched it originally just to support Rel because
course.
if I see a friend in something, I'm gonna watch it regardless of what anyone else has to say because
Yeah, I probably 50% of me watching it was probably just to see what Rel did in it, or just how it was, and that Rel was in a movie that's getting pushed like it was getting pushed with. And then
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock is an A-list star who I fucked with over the years, so it's like fuck it, she's in there, Rel's in there. I'll give it a shot. And I was pleasantly surprised because it's not a genre of films that I usually watch.
And
What you laughing at? What you gonna say, Salim?
The whole time I was watching it, I just kept thinking about the fact that I have a theory that Sandra Bullock is a closet racist, and so it was interesting to me to just think about like her as a closet racist, just like
Even after
stroking up this chocolate man and just like what
I don't
wanna
think
go-
so. She
what her
always
thought
has
process was doing all that shit.
You want to go into your theory as to why Sandra Bullock is a closeted racist?
Nah, he's a producer. Let's protect Salim's career.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, so I think we got some of our favorite dramas out there. Let's talk about impactful movies of the year.
Impactful?
So
Can
like
we
the
say
Black
Panther?
the Black Panthers, the
Obviously.
Crazy Rich Asians. Were they overhyped? Are they as good as was advertised?
No.
All right, well, let's get into it. What else could we say in the impactful cultural?
We should put Spider-Man in that impactful.
The Spider-Man,
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
Sorry.
Sorry. What else?
Spider-Verse
What
should
else can
definitely
we?
be put
Do we
into
have a
that
list?
impact.
Do we have some movies we want to throw out there?
impactful movies.
Impactful. Oh yeah, impactful movies of the
I might
year.
even play a one. Oh, you got A Wrinkle in Time.
I didn't watch
No,
it.
but that is an
actually.
impactful movie.
You know why I didn't watch A Wrinkle in Time? It made me.
sucked?
I didn't.
You don't
know
go to the
this
movies
was-
anyway. Why would you
Why
watch
I
it? You don't go to the movies anyway.
Fuck. But it's just like it was just like
Velocious
shaming.
technically.
Like you watched Wrinkle in Time,
Hold
like
on.
you watched Black Panther.
Let's save that. Did you guys watch both A Miracle in Time?
Yeah, that's-
I did not see Wrinkle in Time.
So only Reek saw it.
I'm gonna say this about.
I didn't see it because I heard it was
All
bad.
right, so let's
So
get
look-
all the. So you got A Wrinkle in Time,
Okay.
Black Panther,
Yeah, Crazy Rich Asians.
Amazing, Into the Spider-Verse,
Right.
and
We're
what
gonna
other-
go. When's the
The
next
hate- the
session?
hate-
Ocean's 8.
The
All right,
hate,
so we
the
gonna
hate
go
you
long.
give. The hate you give is very important.
Okay, Ocean's
And
8.
Ocean's 8.
Ocean's 8.
Well,
Yeah.
Ocean's 8 more so than Hate You Give because that was like a studio movie pushing women.
True.
So
All right.
let's go for those
Anything else?
five.
Anything else? Or before we stop and then we dig in?
What do you have y'all any of you seen Blind Spotting?
Who's in Blind Spotting?
That had David Diggs from Hamilton in it. It was a Bay Area movie. It was a very small movie.
No, I didn't see it.
I know Jasmine ain't see that.
She like
I be booked and blessed. I can't be watching
That's
them.
right.
Hey,
that's
that's-
right. Goddamn it.
ain't nothing wrong with that.
All right. I think that's
All right.
enough movies to dig into.
Yeah.
So for those five-
So are they worth the hype? Overhype? Let's talk about why we liked it, why we didn't like it. Let's do all that.
All right, so let's start with Crazy Rich Asians.
That was
Okay.
probably the most overhyped.
I support Crazy Rich Asians even though it wasn't a good movie. It's fun, and I think if you're not if you're not like if you don't have taste like somebody like me and Salim, you should enjoy it, but it's not a good movie.
Yeah, I
just
liked it
support the movie.
for what it was. It was like I needed to see a movie that had that many Asian faces,
Yeah.
doing just dope shit, being rich, just enjoing life. I felt it in the same way. Like whenever I see a movie that like Black Panther, I'm like I needed to see that many darker black faces, not even just
Right.
people who look like they're actually from Africa.
For sure.
It's like I needed that. Same thing with Wonder Woman. It's like I needed to see that character doing that.
Mhm.
So. I'd say the best one of those three that I'm saying was Black Panther. Crazy Rich Asians kind of just.
We're gonna get into Black.
Hold on.
Yeah, no. But I'm
let's
saying
just keep it on
Crazy
Crazy
no.
Rich. Let's
I'm
just
saying
keep it on
but I'm
Crazy
saying
Rich.
just because I brought up those three, Crazy Rich Asians though really kind of coasted on that. It didn't really feel the need to actually have a really good story. It coasted on that and how fucking rich was it Singapore?
Yeah.
Right? How rich and baller Singapore was.
Yeah.
And that's about it. It didn't have much more substance to that.
Jasmine?
It wasn't about the. It was. You're not gonna like my comment, so you can just.
Was
move
there-
on.
No, I'm not. Go
I just. It's just frustrating when people like. Okay, I don't have to see. Damn it! I don't know how to
Say
really
it.
say. I don't have to see like Asians on TV and stuff like that as much as I need to see like Black Panther in America, because in America, Black people, you know what I'm saying, we're still the like the most under, I'm really trying to find some
all right.
politically correct
You want to think and
words.
put your word? You want to take a second and think about what you want to say?
because
Okay, my take on Crazy Rich Asians. To that point, even though Black people are still fighting for theirs, we can't act like we don't have other ethnicities in this country who definitely don't get a movie like that on that scale or that budget ever comes out. Because Crazy Rich Asians didn't even do well in Asia.
It did not do well in
Because
China.
a lot of Asians
Tanked.
don't fuck with the idea of Chinese doing anything with Japanese and Taiwanese and people from Singapore. So there's a divide in that community the same way there's a divide in the black community. But in America being pushed, it was important for the Asian Americans who do have Hollywood pursuits, who are in entertainment, who do not see a lot of themselves because for a long time they've been regulated to roles of minute, small characters, which is like a store owner stereotype or the karate person or the person who can fight. They didn't have a story where they are just our people in the world who happen to do things and people who are affluent. So on those marks, I think it was cool and it was important that even if you weren't Asian, you should go see the movie.
Yeah.
Now, my thoughts on the movie, I thought it was cool. I felt like she's been a popular actress for
Constance
a long time. Constance Wu?
Yeah.
She did her damn fucking thing
great.
as the mother of the disapproving mother. I think she killed
Did
it.
you watch Fresh Off the Boat?
Yeah.
At all?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Constance Wu was definitely funny. I thought the comedic talent that they brought, because as a comedian, I watched to see who was funny in it since it was branded as a romantic comedy. The Aquafina, Stephen, what's his name? Ken Wu? Ken Jeong,
yeah.
I felt like their bits, their ad-libs really didn't do much for me. It kind of fell flat, honestly. So I don't think it was that well written comedically, but I enjoyed the movie enough because I have seen that story played out, and to see the story played out amongst a group of Asian folks was really good to see because you don't realize that there's a factor of Asians who also live in the UK. There's the Asians doing their thing in America who migrated. Then there's the Asians back home, and I relate to people who culturally like don't get along on the same accord and then kind of like banish you for it because they look down on you for immigrating and building your life there instead of staying in the country where you're born from and making that work. I connect to that divide amongst a group of people. So like, I think the movie was cool. I don't think the movie was great and amazing and awesome just because it was Asian people finally getting a shot. Because there's people who feel that same way about Black Panther on that scale who think just because there was a bunch of black superheroes, we finally get to shine on a $100 million stage, that means it was amazing. I thought Black Panther was
that
amazing.
had more storylines than, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm just saying on the same comparison. So I think that we got a big first one out of the way, and for Asians, and hopefully there's more Asian movies that to come. I don't think it should necessarily eat into the money that goes into a black movie. I hope that doesn't
that's
happen
what I'm
either.
saying. I still want like huge black movies where we're just doing a romantic comedy where a blockbuster is pushed behind it.
But
like,
we gotta let them. But we gotta let them shine though, because even though we are still way behind white people, we further than Asians and Latinos
But
and
not
Indians.
really though. And if you look, and
Yes,
even
really.
if you look,
In terms of entertainment.
if you're even looking on entertainment, Asians have replaced the token black person in a lot of things. And look on Netflix. They have.
Do we want to continue to be the token black person though?
No, I don't. I want it to be diverse for everybody. But instead of it being switched, like, okay, we're pushing y'all to the side. Let's give this race.
But
I disagree with the notion that we're getting pushed to the side.
Yeah, we're becoming the leads.
Well, I think
We're like
we've moved up in
leading
the
TV
ladder
shows
to
and
leads.
films, yeah.
We have more TV shows and films than group of Asian people in percentages, for sure. We're still all really far
Yeah, we're
behind
still
white
very
people,
far behind.
but we're ahead of Asians, Indians, and Spanish people for sure. So I can't keep saying let's keep them niggas down because we ain't got all of our shit yet. I think it was cool. It was important for them to get a movie. I just think it was a halfway decent movie. I don't think it was great, but I think maybe in the next 5 to 10 years there will be like a banging fucking hilarious ass movie with a majority Asian cast and Asian comedic actors. I just don't. This was the groundbreaking one. This was the one that paved the way, but it ain't the best one. We'll see.
And apparently, this movie Burning that we've been talking about is supposed to be like that, like really Oscar-worthy, Korean film or something like that.
It's not coming back to LA till like February though.
Okay, all right. So what else we got on our list?
So the next one,
but it was definitely impactful.
A Wrinkle in Time.
Okay.
So why was that impactful? Just because Ava directed it?
It was a black director.
Because it was a black woman director over $100 million
Inspiring
budget.
little women, little black girls.
It was a little black girl in it, but the film itself was terrible.
Okay.
I think Ava. I mean, I got my gripes for Ava. I think Ava's best as a
documentary.
More
as a
professional
documentary filmmaker.
Yeah.
I think some was a solid narrative, but her other narrative stuff is like real dry to me. But with this film, she was trying a lot of interesting ideas, like the sets and all that looked really nice. But I don't really know what the film was about. It was too heady. And they had Oprah in it and Reese Witherspoon and those other people. And it's just like, I don't think anybody in the theater with me enjoyed it. It just wasn't good.
It just wasn't good.
And they pushed it like they try to make you like just in the media or whatever. It's like they try to force it on you.
Yeah, it was right after Black Panther.
It was right after Black Panther, and
you
it's
gotta
like,
ride that wave though.
But I don't feel like that should be a wave to ride. That shouldn't be a way to promote a movie. Like you watch Black Panther. Like you know what I mean? Like it made
that was the thing with
our black shit is now we're in a position where we got a big budget superhero film with predominantly black cast. Now a big budget fantastical film.
Well, not even that. I feel like for a long time it was like even before the wave happened in like 2012, 13. If we got a black movie, it was like, we got to go support.
Yeah.
We got to all see the slave pick. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to see a slave pick right now. You get what I'm saying? I felt like that's, at this point, it's got
to be
we
good
had
now.
a lot of really good black films
but there's
out here in different genres. And like, this was the only one that it was like, everybody got to go support. While the rest of them was like, yo, it was good. Come check us out.
Right.
But it's no problem supporting them if they're good movies.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's what it comes down to. It just wasn't a
and
good
we
film.
don't, and it's like sometimes I have a disconnect with black people who just go to Tyler Perry movies because they feel like we got to go support Tyler because Tyler employs black people. But I have an issue with the films,
Yeah,
the TV shows.
And
Like
he knows he can make trash because he knows that people are going to support it.
but
It's the same message every time.
It's a business model that Tyler Perry follows, but unfortunately it hinders the quality of the films.
100%.
I agree.
So the way he shoots films, and the way he shoots his TV shows, and how it comes out, it dilutes it. And so my thing is, I don't want to go support something if I know it's not going to be good because of what I know what goes into it. But there's a lot of talented people who are in his cast that he does employ and hire, and I'm happy for that for sure.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like the syndrome of let's not run to it just because it's black. Like I think we are in a position, we're kind of getting there or pretty close where it's like we really can see films and like be about if it's good or not because it's black and we gotta just support black regardless of if it's trash. Because I don't want to always support black trash.
We've moved
Exactly,
past
and then
black
also,
movies.
but then also in films too, like it's important to not just support black trash because then they're gonna be like, oh, they like this, let's give them more of this. Like they're like, no, we don't like this. We like stuff like
Yeah, we don't need to give Ava no more $100 million bonus.
Yo, Rick, chill
don't
out, chill
say
out.
that. That was just
Edit this
one.
part out.
All right. Nah, keep that
Hey,
shit
I
in.
need a
Ava's
job.
gonna hear it. Yeah, because you know you thirsty nigga. All right,
Hey, I need a job.
So what's the movie that was there impactful? Let's get,
So
Spider-Verse.
all right, I just saw Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse was amazing.
I mean, look, when it hits, here's what I say. Spider-Verse because I was late to get. Well, Spider-Verse is not it didn't come out too long. It was like a week or two old.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people love Spider-Verse, love it. I can't say I'm all the way in love with the movie because I'm not really a big Spider-Man fan, but it hit all the markings of why you should love the movie. If you're in a nerdy way on how I'm framing it. So like, you got the best Easter eggs. It's got a really well-written story. It makes you care. There's emotional beats. It's interconnected with shit that is classic of Spider-Man archive and bridging a gap with the new era of Spider-Man. It's diverse.
Afro-Latino.
Afro-Latino leads, women represented, a good villain, a really good villain, a good reason for why the villain is there. So it has all the beats and it hits you as to why it's a really great film. So I think it's a great film. I just said I just don't love it. Like I could not see it again and be okay. But it's a great
Do
film.
you think it's because it was too hyped up for you?
Yeah,
Every
and
movie's
I just don't like that style of animation.
Oh, so you weren't, because that's been a big thing is
I
that a
didn't
lot
like
of
the style
people
of
either
it.
love the animation because it's look kind of 3D or they weren't.
It
fucking
was
with
like the TMNT animated
See,
that
okay.
came out, and I just
liked
didn't like
it.
that
I don't
version.
really
After a
like
while,
animated.
I kind of got on board with it, even
Yeah.
though it was really weird. And I don't know. I thought that was tight. For me, though, the part that I love the most about the movies, because I love Spider-Man is definitely a character that I enjoy. Spider-Man
Yeah.
2, I think is one of the best.
I agree. Spider-Man 2 with Tobey. Yeah.
It's one of the best. But I think it was really, I kept like going between the two. Like, do I like this one better than Spider-Man 2? And ultimately I do, because it gives me something that I was not able to get in most superhero films, which is representation. Like, I actually
That's
saw
true.
myself in this character. And
Yeah. I gotta give credit when it's due.
and there's a part at the very end that I didn't even, I'm not going to take credit for noticing this. Our friend Steve Capel pointed this out to me. He basically was like at the very end when...
Name drop. He directed Creed 2.
I didn't say that.
That was fucking dynamite. Shout out to
Hey,
Steve
he's from
Capel.
Florida.
All right, go back.
no, he's from
Sorry.
Cleveland.
Oh, no, that's the writer from Florida. My fault. Sorry.
But there's this part where Spider-Man or Peter B. Parker is about to fall into the Hadron Collider at the end.
Yeah.
And he's looking up to Miles. And it was like a callback to earlier when he like tripped Miles and he's like, just get out of this and you'll be fine. But
when the original Peter Parker of that world saves his life.
no. When Peter B. Parker, when basically he was like, you can't do this. And he trips him and he's like, just get out of this move and you'll be able to do it. And he
Yeah.
wasn't able to. So I thought it was like a callback to that. But no, what was dope is that you have this white Spider-Man that's looking up to Miles, who's the new Spider-Man.
Yes.
He's looking up to this hero who's black.
Who's new, and he's novice.
And he's novice, and he looks like, you know, a younger version of me or a younger version of my nephews
Right.
or anything.
Yeah.
That to me, like, and again, it completely passed me by when he said that. I'm like, you're right. That's huge.
That's huge for sure. It's huge.
And the other big thing is my nephew. He's mixed. His mom's Guatemalan. His dad is African. So he's got a little bit of that.
The Miles Morales, complex.
Background, right?
Yeah.
So I got him the Miles Morales hoodie. Right, so it
Okay.
had the Spider-Man graffiti on it.
Dope
And
costume too.
It was dope costume, dope hoodie. But just seeing his face and being like, he put it on. He's like, I'm Miles, and I was just that was a moment.
That's a moment. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not a like I said, like if they had did a Batman movie, animated Batman like in that vein and did all the connection, I probably would think it's the most masterful thing ever. It's just because I'm not a crazy fan of Spider-Man.
Hey, that's fine.
That's fine. And Batman's probably gonna always be Bruce Wayne, which is I'm okay with.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. But the way they have done this with Miles Morales, and like I said, bridging the new gap with the old class, with everything that's canon, and they hit so many marks: Easter eggs, women, good villain, seeds for sequels, post-credit scene bomb. It was funny. It was funny. There were a lot of good jokes. They had a lot of good voice actors in there. So it's probably gonna be a classic film later. It's great. Like all my nerds whose opinion I respect, when these movies come out for DC Marvel, they think they all fuck with it, and I fuck with it too. Yeah. I just don't like.
I love reading the comments of the nerds.
Yeah.
We go in.
I got some great comedian nerd friends who like give these deep dives and think pieces, and it's wonderful. So Spider-Verse is definitely up there.
Ocean's 8.
Ocean's 8. How we feel about Ocean's 8?
I didn't see it.
I saw it. I liked Ocean's 8. I felt it could have been better though.
Okay.
I mean, the heist itself was silly. It wasn't a great heist film. What I enjoyed
it wasn't as slick. It wasn't as slick as it could have been either. They made it too.
But it was fun.
It was fun.
I thought the girls played well off each other.
Sandra killed it.
Sandra Bullock's having a great year. This is the best year Sandra's had since she won the Oscar. Like,
I thought Miss Congeniality was her best year.
Sandra's had 3 great years.
Hope Floats. I love Hope. I love a lot of Sandra shit.
But I mean, I think the heist wasn't that great, and I wish it was directed by a female. I think it would have been a little better.
Who directed it?
It's dude named Gary Ross.
Because when a man's directing it, it might as well just be a man movie.
We can't say that. I just don't think for this movie it was the right. They should have had a female director. I'm not gonna say a guy.
It could have been more masculine because I think if he would have sexualized Rihanna more, then you definitely would have felt that. But he didn't sexualize him as much. But yeah,
I'm sure.
That should have been a woman.
But women know how to tell women's stories.
That movie alone.
Yeah.
That's the thing is that the whole point is not just about sticking women out there, just sticking black people out
And
there,
being
just
leads,
sticking.
right.
It's about putting people in that can act like correctly tell the story. I don't want a
Were there
man
any writers?
telling a
Female?
story for a woman. You know what I mean? It's still coming from a man's point of view, so it might as well still be a man's movie.
Yeah, this is that to me does not make it a women heist movie at all.
It doesn't.
Because everything behind the
They
scenes
just threw women in it.
They just threw women in it. Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, you can't just put the 7 people in
They
the
had
front
one
of it.
female on the script, Olivia. She probably was there for dialogue.
Definitely for dialogue.
Okay, so I agree with you, but I don't also want to become the notion of men should only do men films and women should only do women films.
Not that.
'Cause that's what it could lead to, though.
But if they were marketing
it's
this
like
as a woman's
woman's
the
movie,
way they marketed
and
this
it's not.
movie, for sure, it should have been just women all across the board.
Exactly, it's women saying words and this is why writers' room should be more diverse. This is why you should have men, women, black, white, because you can't tell a story. I can't tell a story of a white woman or a white man because that's not me. So
we
why
study
not
white
have
people.
somebody?
We can do white people better than white people do white people.
I mean,
we
at
do.
the end of the day, you can't
have
though.
to.
If you people walking in, you're walking in. If I go and I trip down the street, you can't tell the story of me tripping down the street better than I can. You just can't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what
but
it
sometimes
is.
you gotta see it through a different lens. I completely agree. Everything up until just like they shouldn't be involved at all. I
don't
just
think
think
that-
this movie, specifically this movie, because Ocean's 8 was gonna be themed as the woman's heist thing, it should have been
A mixture, but I feel like
Mixture,
everything should be a mixture in all aspects.
and
because-
probably in an ideal world, yeah, everything should probably be like that.
there's not an all-man movie ever, is it?
No.
Exactly.
but there are-
There's
Probably
women
were
in
back
it.
in the day.
War movies.
But what I'm
Movies,
saying.
yeah, women don't give a shit about war
Detective
movies.
movies.
But-
Besides, look at their own.
But I agree with you though. I think that because it's like any person can tell any story, or they could try to. At the end of the day, though, it's gonna be better.
Yep.
It's not saying that they can't do it. It's just like you're not allowing it to be the best as it possibly could
Absolutely.
be.
And
if you don't get that perspective.
And there was parts in that where you felt it.
directors who could have did it. Penny Marshall could have did it.
Yeah, that could have been Penny's
Before she
last.
passed, yeah,
big
that
one.
really could have been.
passed.
That's
She
what I'm saying.
passed
No, I'm saying
initially.
before she passed.
Yeah,
that could have been her last hurrah. That actually would have been
It
dope.
could have been old girl who did Wonder Woman. What's her name?
Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins
she's
could have
dope.
killed her.
She's like everyone's trying to go after her right now.
And
Just
the
have a
last,
mixture. That's all.
the
Yeah, I
last
agree.
of
I
the of the representation films,
Impactful.
We
Black
all
Panther.
know.
We gotta get Black Panther. Okay.
I saw this movie
Panther.
3 times in the theater.
So we all saw Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, all that great stuff. Let's start with, was it worth all the hype that that had built up to leading
Every
into it?
yes,
of it.
yes, yes.
Every single
Everybody, you enjoyed the movie. While watching the movie, your mouth was open pretty much the whole time. You know what I mean? And to be able to see, multiple people saw that movie back to back to back. You can't see no movie back to back in the same days without it. I felt like it needed even more hype. And just like he was saying where his nephew was like, I'm Miles. Seeing all these little black boys thinking that they're like, trying to be superhero Tashonda or whatever. Like that is amazing view to see. And then only thing I would have liked is more brown people too. Because I hate that it's just all, like I'm in the middle. So it's always an issue like, oh,
Shuri was brown.
Or too. I wanted to see more brown people.
Shuri's brown. What
Michael
more brown
B
do you
was
want?
brown.
Michael B is brown.
but
There was no yellow black
they're in
people in there.
Africa.
The bitch who was
I'm talking
killed.
about people that look. I didn't see anybody that looked like, me in the
directly
movie.
from
The
that
whole who
part
was
of-
kissing Michael B was brown.
I didn't see any
Michael
women.
B is your complexion.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No,
Y'all
Yeah,
brown.
but
He may be a little lighter.
No. But there was a
I
reason
ain't
behind
seen
that
nobody
though.
look like
There's a reason behind it.
Because Michael B. There was actually, who was it? Amanda Stahlberg. She was going to be cast in the film, but she said, I don't want to do that because the people who should be playing from Wakanda should be of African descent.
Right.
So there's like a
Angela Bassett Brown. Stop complaining.
she's the only one though who's basically
not-
Angela's like, I don't
I'm
care.
not her
I'm gonna be
color.
I'm gonna be Black Panther's mama.
What I'm
I don't
saying,
care.
what I'm saying is, I keep preaching a mixture.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
It was as mixed as you can get. I don't think I saw any like super red bone or light skin.
There was no light skinned girls.
There was no
in
light skin in
There
Wakanda.
was no roles for Tessa.
No roles for Tessa.
No
But there
roles
was
for
no,
Cassie
but
Clemens.
it's because
no Michael Ealy.
It's because Wakanda never got colonized.
Colonized.
So
Right.
they
That's
they
the
stayed
only-
with that.
only
They stayed with
complaint.
that.
All right. That's okay. I don't even know if that really is a complaint because you just wanted more brown when there was plenty of brown.
You see, the movie's so
I
good
wanted to
though. All
see
you have
someone
is
that
small
looked like
gripes.
me.
Small gripe.
Oh, yeah, you gotta
I
nitpick.
have a
You
couple
gotta
of small.
nitpick.
There's a couple of small gripes.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do small gripes.
Let's be nitpicky.
My small gripe.
Do we think that the guy who was the guy in the CIA we feel like he did the white savior trope, or I don't consider him a
I
white
don't-
savior?
I didn't
Nah,
like
he
that.
He's not
think
savior,
he assisted.
but he was.
That is true. White people always have
It was
to
almost
be
there.
the hero.
It was almost there. I mean, I'm glad that they took away
helped.
from him being, the savior, but he did save the day a
All
little
right.
bit.
So that was a bone. You think?
Unfortunately.
You
That
think
was
that
a
was a
gripe.
bone. We think
I
they
agree.
had to get their guy.
I
in.
would say that Ryan got a lot, and if that was the one that Disney was like, "Come on, we have to have one good white person in this film," I'm like, okay,
You're compromising.
you
Shout
got a
outs
lot
to
of.
Ryan Coogler.
But all
Shout
the
to Ryan.
all the sidebars and the slick comments toward him did
No,
make me
those
feel
are
a little
great.
bit better about it.
It's almost like Ryan's like, all right, if you're gonna make me do this, I'm gonna
gotta-
have them say everything that I would say.
Exactly.
To that character.
For sure. You have to take it and sit in an uncomfortable pocket.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
My gripe,
What's your gripe?
Killmonger should not have died at the end.
He should have been locked up
He should have went to jail. Yeah,
Okay.
like he could have been saved. I think he's a great villain.
in case he can come back.
Yeah, because he
He's
would
too-
have been fantastic villain for the sequel, especially his plan. His passion wasn't bad. He just had bad plans. You get what I'm saying? Oh, he not a bad plan, but he had a bad way going about it. Actually, the
His
film
passion
should've
was
been-
great.
here
The
we go.
plan was- the plan was-
film
It was
the
should've been-
plan was bad. The
The film
passion
should have
was
been
there.
two films. The film should have ended with not knowing if Black Panther's alive or not. Then the second film, you start off with Killmonger trying to get his plan together, and now you have a whole film of Black Panther having to get back to his communist.
I don't
There's
think
no
I want-
arc for the
Are you trying to
character.
write
That's
another
literally
movie?
stopping the movie halfway
I didn't want to
through.
see a 90-minute.
That's stopping the movie like halfway through before
I like it at
anything
2.
really
I like it at
happens.
2 and change.
Yeah, and
it was
I don't
already
wanna,
pretty long.
It was long as fuck.
That's what I'm saying. Make it a second.
But I was fine with
no,
it.
no, no,
It
no.
didn't
That'd
have
have been
enough.
I
too
wouldn't
short.
want to
Too much.
extend Killmonger into a second movie because I just feel like when you do that, it's like you're bleeding everything that of his value. So it's like let him be the one-off.
Yeah.
And then because there's other villains that got to get their story told.
And also
he's not the only villain in
and
Black
and he
Panther's
affected
canon.
T'Challa. He made T'Challa change. That's
Right.
the main. That's the biggest thing, and you don't need that character.
He takes
did
that
his
lesson.
part.
He
did
has
his
that
part.
lesson. He did his part exactly.
And also, I said Tashonda for some reason. I don't know.
T'Challa.
I don't know why I said that and no one corrected
Because you still
me.
living in
I didn't know what you were
Roosevelt.
saying.
You got a bitch named T'Chanda who was your enemy.
I don't know.
I was like, who the hell is that?
My
There's a comedian. He put on a special. It's his opening joke about why he thinks Black Panther wasn't all that good.
Why?
Shout outs to Eric Griffin if you want to check it out. He got a special on Showtime.
What was his point?
I
You talking about
forgot
the
it.
light skinned dude
With the glasses.
Yeah, he's on. I'm dying up here.
Right.
I saw it in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
I think it was silly.
Yeah, it's a silly take, but I feel like there was. I had already said when the word first was made that Black Panther was coming to the Marvel the MCU, and they're gonna introduce him in Civil War, and then you see how dope he killed it in Civil War in his arc, and it's like he got a mini movie inside because Civil War had like 3 movies in one. That's why it's probably the most masterful one.
Yeah.
It was. I was like, Black Panther's gonna do $1 billion, and if this does $1 billion. This is going to be amazing, epic for us. And we did $1 billion with Black Panther.
And people don't talk about, and they need to talk about this more. It made more than Infinity War.
Oh yeah,
In the United States, not worldwide.
In the U.S. though.
In the United States, by like about 12 million.
It's the number 1 movie in the United States this year.
Yeah,
Right.
And that's
I'm-
because people saw it like 5 times.
Right.
And not only that, the other importance of Black Panther was just the togetherness that the community showed, because it wasn't a slave movie. It was a movie where we're showing Black people as being powerful.
Yeah.
And I got to go to the movie with like 30 other Black people. We were all dressed up. It was like everyone was in the energy. It just set us up for a great year. And I really love that aspect of the movie that it brought.
We were buying out theaters.
Yeah.
We definitely did go out to the
We
theater.
showed our power.
Yeah.
We showed our power. And it actually kind
If
of
only we could have did it for Blank Man and Media Man. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
We didn't have social
But-
media
It's
back
too early,
then.
bro.
We did. I'm sorry.
I will say that
early.
Black people, we have had a pretty good year. I will say
2018 has
2018 has
was
been a great
phenomenal.
year.
2017,
I'm trying to think.
2018
We've had,
was
like,
phenomenal.
No one got murdered by the cops that became a national story this year. Is that a fact?
No, there's a
No,
lot of
there's a
them.
lot of that.
There's a lot of them. It's
There's a
just
lot
not
of
as. It's not as.
I'm talking about national stories. Though.
Yeah, he's talking about as in like a full movement of protest,
Yeah.
and that is true, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Nah, it's
That
still
definitely
getting
It was
happened.
And
less
I don't
about
know if
dudes
that's
getting
necessarily
killed.
a good thing, because that just
You
means
know
that
what it
more
is?
people
It's
just-
not about
No, no.
the backstories aren't as prominent as the Eric Gardner or Trayvon, where like a white man following the kid in the hoodie corner. Like their stories aren't as like fucking this is fucked up as just them getting shot.
No, the stories that are coming up now is all the people who are emboldened by Trump, who are just showing their ass and just being completely horrible people to Black people in just their daily lives.
That's another thing that puts Black people
yeah.
up. How horrible
yeah.
Trump is doing.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah.
We had Corner Store Kathy this year.
no, there's a
And
but that's the
Barbecue
thing, we had all those
That was
people,
the trend.
and there's like a new one every week.
We got anti-white villains now.
Yeah, basically.
So Black Panther. Okay. So,
hold on. My one little gripe, it's a
right.
very small gripe, is not even I didn't like the action. I'm real. It made me
You
realize
gotta fell
that.
short on action sequences.
Yeah, it made me realize that Ryan, even though he does great with boxing and the one takes, I could tell that he probably had a really dope one take that he wasn't able to do, and
So the chase scene didn't lackluster for you?
it just was all CG. It just didn't feel like.
And then the
That's,
fuck. What about?
that's a problem with that type of character.
But
though.
well, it's the type of character, but it's also the type of
Aquaman-
directing, because you have stuff like with Spider-Man and stuff that doesn't feel like that. There's
Nah,
a
Spider-Man always feels so CGI to me.
but there's a mixture between the two, because you'll have him in CG and then you'll have him in live action.
Right.
Whereas this one, it just felt like I don't remember the action sequences at all.
What
Civil
about
War.
What about
I
Killmonger
remember
fights?
that.
Yeah, Civil War had.
I remember that forever. Same
And-
thing
and
with
Infinity
Infinity
War,
I
yeah.
remember those forever. This one, I'm just kind of like, and I'm fine with not that they didn't have.
I would say the action sequences are probably wasn't like the dopest. Like the fight in the casino.
It was just kinda
no.
aight.
Here,
It was just aight.
no, the
I
fight
love
is the
the fights,
casino.
but
The
I'm
fights
not-
is the casino was fire.
It was cool. It was a good
Civil
fight.
War, they had that scene where they were jumping from roof to roof. That's very practical. Then you had the big battle between all the superheroes,
At
which
the
wasn't
hangar.
necessarily
There's also
action,
the
but that was just a dope scene.
the chase. And
chase.
the chase was dope.
With Black Panther,
that was definitely
Captain America, Bucky.
that was
practical. Yeah, but a lot of it was practical effects.
Yeah,
So
well,
that's what I'm
this-
saying. They were
I mean, the
able
big
to
The
action-
find
opening scene
opening
again when they
scene.
take down what's his name from the other movie.
Crossbones.
Crossbones, and then Captain America versus
Even that whole sequence.
Iron Man.
Yeah. But that's also the Russo brothers.
But the hand-to-hand combat fights, like when T'Challa against M'Baku and
that was
Killmonger,
cool.
when
Yeah,
those were impactful.
Those were
pretty-
good. Yeah.
I would say it's not as they're not as dope as the other ones. Those directors probably do that better.
Yeah,
that was new
that's
territory for Coogler,
And,
so
and that's why I'm not mad
I give him
at
a
it.
pass.
Because I know Black Panther 2, I'm sure he's going to hear that criticism because there's not a lot of criticism.
I'm nervous for Black Panther 2.
Really?
And it's just because
Why is that?
I'm an empath or whatever. And it's like, I feel the pressure that they're feeling. Like, it has to be amazing. You know what I mean? Because everything that we do, if it's not good, it's like, oh, I told you so.
Yeah.
Nah, it doesn't have to top cultural significance again. It just has to really be good in the MCU. And I think they have the autonomy to do whatever. He'll probably get more free
To be
reign.
honest with you, it's probably gonna be better.
It's going to be
Probably
better.
better.
The sequels are stronger than the first ones.
Because people just want to go back to Wakanda.
Yeah.
They just want to go back to that place, live there. Now that it's open to the world, it's also after the Infinity War decimation. There's
So we
so
don't know
much
what's-
story.
there's so much
They have
open
it.
There's
stuff.
so much story there.
Yeah.
They already have it as an amusement park?
No.
Not
Oh,
these.
okay.
No,
never
no,
mind.
I meant
He said
like-
open to the world. I'm like, wait a minute
no,
now.
maybe
I
Infinity
know,
War
I
the
know,
world.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yo,
I know.
Wakanda Land would be lit though.
I'm like,
Yo,
where
that's
is
what
this
Kanye
at?
West is trying to do in where was he at? He was
Chicago.
like Sierra Leone. Or
Oh, Sierra-
no, he went to some African nation. No, he went to Uganda. He's like, yeah, man, we could turn this all into Wakanda, and everyone's just like,
I'd rather be an amusement park and in America.
Yeah.
I would go to Wakanda Land. I ain't gonna fuck. Zamunda Land, Wakanda Land, I fuck with it. All right, let's see if we can get a couple of our TV shows out there, and then we got to wrap. So
Okay.
let's wait. Damn, I wanted to go back to movies. Let's comedies, and we got some favorite comedies.
The only this was kind of a weak year for comedy features.
It was
not that
actually.
great.
I fucked with Game
But
Night.
my number-
What you
Game
got-
Night was
what you got there, Rico?
Game Night's on my top
I
10
saw
of,
Game
all,
Night.
of like the whole year.
That was Game Night.
Because
Was
that
really
was
funny.
surprising.
all the
That was
films
a
I saw.
surprisingly good.
You got
movie.
comedies in a thing?
My number 2 film is a comedy.
What is it?
Death of Stalin.
That's the best to me.
I didn't see that.
That's
To
the only
us-
comedy. That's amazing.
And it's not even like that is the best. One of the best
Tag
movies
was really
come out.
funny too.
I didn't see Tag.
Tag was really funny. You saw any comedies? What comedies you
Oh,
remember?
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, you got to use the bathroom?
Yes.
All right, go
It's
ahead.
been a while.
Do what you got to do? Let's see. Ocean's 8, Uncle Drew.
Hey, did you see Death of Stalin?
No, I didn't see that. I missed
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
one.
Death of
You gotta
Stalin.
check
Just to
that
talk
out.
about it, basically, it's a historical comedy where basically we're in Russia in like the 50s, and Joseph Stalin has just died. And basically, his cabinet is trying to figure out what the fuck to do next, and they're all trying to grab for power. But all the Russian guys are played by American actors, so there's no Russian accents or nothing like that. It's like
So Steve Buscemi is just in there talking like Steve Buscemi, and it's hilarious.
It's fucking hilarious.
Damn.
It's
When
actually
that
really.
come out?
It came this past year.
It was
2017,
made since 2017,
yeah.
but it
December?
came out in 2018.
Yeah.
All right.
Dog,
all right.
it's so funny, and we're trying to figure out how to steal that style and use
Do
it
it with
and do it with
black
other stuff
people.
with black people.
Oh, all right. Good
Yeah.
job, guys. Let's write something.
Yeah, because it's like, because Stalin like ran that shit with an iron fist. He was so evil, and so like it's just so dark and cynical and funny. It's great.
Okay. All right. Let's. All right. Any other comedies that we kind of that stood out?
This year
Blockers was
not-
okay.
Blockers was fine.
What was
for what
Blockers?
it was? The one with
The John Cena and
Oh, Melissa McCarthy.
Nah, Melissa McCarthy's
no,
not
but
in
Melissa
that one.
McCarthy had Life of the Party. That shit was trash.
heard
That was trash.
horrible.
That was horrible. I saw that. Blockers was okay. Blockers was
Wait,
okay.
so do you guys?
Deadpool 2 was funny.
Deadpool 2 was
It was funny. It was a good sequel.
It's not as good as the first one, but Deadpool 2 was good.
I saw Night School. Me and you saw Night School together. I left in the middle of it.
Oh no.
Yeah, it has some moments, but it's not a good film. It had it made you laugh a couple. There's enough laughs in there where it's like you did laugh, but it just wasn't like a good movie.
I'm looking up this.
Oh, what do we hate? Let's trash some films.
Oh wait, can we talk about Netflix movies too?
What?
Netflix movies too?
Yeah, all
There's
the
movies in
movies.
general.
Okay, I loved. It was on Netflix. It was pretty stupid. Where's the money?
Oh,
Did y'all
that
see that?
King Bash movie?
It was so funny. Yes, they
Is
like.
it because he's your friend?
No, he's not. He's actually not my friend like that. Like
Okay.
I know him, but
Okay.
we're not. I mean, he probably don't. Yeah.
I'll check it
The
out.
movie
What's it
was
called?
funny. Where's the money? And also another movie that was stupid, Babysitter.
That was
Who's
from
the
last year.
babysitter?
King Batch is in that too.
Yeah,
It was
it's a horror film.
they played them back to back.
But y'all ain't friends? Okay.
No, we went. He went to Florida State and I went to FAMU, so I'm a support.
All right, no.
really.
Shout out to Bash. He's
but-
doing this thing on the independent tip. He's getting paid handsomely. Let's trash some movies though. What do we not like at all? Because I'm looking at this list. Superfly was super trash.
Oh, yeah.
Super trash.
I didn't see that just because I heard it was horrible.
Did we go see that together, Nick?
We did see Superfly.
Y'all are really dating. That's so cute.
It's not.
Me and Rick got maybe a year and a half, 18 months.
We're gonna have an anniversary. party.
Venom was funny bad because it was bad.
It was bad.
bad.
But people do fuck with Venom, and I don't.
Oh, you know what
There's
comedy
parts
I
of
like?
Venom that was
Hold on.
good though.
It was.
And this
half
is a
of the movie
Netflix
was
film
good.
too. I like the Ibiza.
I didn't see.
Ibiza
I
was
didn't
a
see
solid
that.
I didn't see
comedy.
that.
It was
I
on
didn't see that.
Netflix.
The which one?
Ibiza with the 3 women. They went to Ibiza for vacation. It was like Jacob Jillian, that girl from Two Dope Queens.
I saw that, but I
Vanessa
decided
Bayer.
against that.
I got a lot of friends.
Why?
I don't know. I just did.
I got a lot of friends that were in the after party. That was a big.
Oh,
Netflix
that
film.
was so good.
I didn't like
oh,
it.
That was,
I didn't like it
what?
either.
It was underwhelming to me.
I
did watch
loved
though.
it.
I get why the kids like it, but it just it didn't.
You know what it is, though?
hurt?
I love, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You know how TBS and USA used to play all of those random teen movies and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's what Netflix is making. So that's
Yeah.
like my favorite types of
Kiss and Boo.
movies.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Kiss
my
and
favorite
I
shit, too.
love
They're
teen
bringing
movies.
back the rom-com because nobody's making them.
Yeah.
Right?
'cause
Yeah,
nobody's
they're
making
so
them.
they're
Well, my issue with the after party was that it would have been dope if it was made by black people. It was a world star
Okay.
movie made by the white dude
After
who
Q
made,
died. Yeah.
the white
Okay.
dude who made How to Make It in America, which he's dope. But it's like
For sure.
it was about the Jewish kid. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the rap industry ain't even like that no more.
Yeah, that's so like
It's like-
taboo. That's so like not like late
Wait,
'80s,
we're
early
trying to get-
But it
'90s.
was so
Is that the one with Kyle?
Yeah,
He's not the lead?
he's pseudo the lead. It's really about the Jewish kid because the Jewish kid trying to get Kyle a deal.
I hate that shit because
Yeah, they make it more about the- they make it more about the kid
oh,
than
this
the
is
rapper.
Kyle's movie,
Of
and it's this
course.
other. Fuck that! I hate that. I really
Yeah.
hate when they do that.
And Kyle, for the most part, he's trying to get signed, but he's really trying to fuck his boy's sister,
sister.
the Jewish girl, the Jewish dude's sister,
He don't
who
really
is
care.
fine as fuck. But I'm like, now I gotta watch this mixed black dude try to fuck a white woman.
And he's like figuring out his swag and trying to like learn himself.
She was fine,
It was
though,
kind of
but-
whack. But my boy Jordan Rock was funny though.
Yeah, Jordan killed it.
Jordan killed it.
I mean, all
Jordan
of the
was-
cameos was great too.
Yeah, it had good. It had cool.
That was a great-
French is not good in cameo.
Now I did watch After Party because of Jordan. But I feel like that movie was really good. I watched it twice.
Okay, all right. I'm good with them.
Green Book was booty juice.
I didn't see Green.
I
Book.
did not want to see it
Yeah.
after hearing about how they completely fucked up this dude's life.
Actually, I won't say.
Did you read about that?
I did read about it. I'll say this: it's funny. It's a well told film, but it's such a like I think they did a good job filmmaker wise, but in terms of what the film represents, it's trash. Because it's like
They
It's a
completely
white-
lied about him.
they complied about.
No,
the
they
dude.
legit. The dude's family's like, he definitely ate fried chicken. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Like, that is not real.
Yeah, that didn't-
Because it's
that-
based
the
off
film
of the
didn't
white
need it.
dude's son's memoir about the white dude. It's not. They didn't contact the family at all.
Okay.
And I'm just
That's-
like, man, that's some shit right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's. All right. So we trashed the movie because I definitely believe we can't just like love everything.
nice.
No.
You got-
What are some other not?
No. I want to do
TV
TV shows now.
Oh,
Let's
TV
get into
shows. Oh, okay.
what are some of our favorite TV shows
I got a simple
All right.
take.
this year. All right.
Okay.
So go Rick since your list is already made.
Bro, I gotta pull it up. You go ahead.
I got-
Okay. So one of my favorite shows, Insatiable on Netflix.
Okay. What's it
Okay.
about?
It's about this girl that used to be fat and then she ends
Oh,
up
in
losing
Texas.
weight because her mouth was wired shut. And it's so freaking crazy. It's what's the girl from Charmed is on it? Alyssa
Yeah.
Milano.
Okay.
And
Shout out to
they're
Alyssa.
talking in these fake country accents.
She had
but
on a
it's-
fat suit in that, right?
Yeah, she had on a fat suit.
They got blowback for the fat suit.
It's so
Yeah.
honestly, I read the critiques first, and that made me want to go back and watch the movie. But
Is it a movie or a TV show?
It's
We
a
didn't-
TV show. Sorry, it's
Okay.
a series. But it started off, you thought it was a movie, and then you seen another episode,
Gotcha.
and then she starts killing people. So it's like super. A
It's
chick
like
flick.
Heathers.
It's a chick flick, and then you just randomly start getting blood and gruesomeness, and I loved it.
Interesting.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Yeah, it's
Insatiable. All right.
Yes.
What other shows do we love this
So
that came out this year?
This would recap
Or like
his,
this year.
his show list.
All right.
Number 1 is Atlanta.
Okay,
All right.
of
Season
course.
2 was Body.
Number 2, Kidding with Jim Carrey on Showtime.
I haven't checked it out, but I heard good things.
Number 3, I had Escape from Dannemora, which is on Showtime also with Benicio
Oh,
del
is
Toro
that out?
and Cordano. Yeah,
Is
it's great.
it fire?
It's so fantastic. I've been watching it weekly.
Damn, and that's Ben Stiller, right?
Ben Stiller directs every episode of it. And
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to
All
Ben
right.
Stiller.
It's a
Shout out to Ben
drama.
Stiller doing his thing.
yeah, he's crushing it. It's so good. 4th is Barry with Bill Hader
Okay.
on HBO.
Okay. Yeah.
5 is a Netflix show, On My Block.
Mm-hmm.
oh, I like that.
It was great. 6 is a Star show called Vita. It's a Latin.
we talked about that.
I talk about Vita with everybody. It's probably like my new favorite show. 7, I'm Dying Up Here, which is on Showtime.
I watched that. Yeah, it's a good
8,
show.
Insecure. Had a great
Insecure
season.
had a great-
Insecure
had a really
did.
good season.
I always want more episodes.
Insecure can keep coming out with content.
Oh,
because
yeah.
We'll watch it.
We'll
I'm
watch
here
it.
for
Because
They got at least
it's so
another. They got at least
relatable.
another 2 to 3.
But you know what I did hate about Insecure? And this is oh my goodness. So she did the episode where she was showing how on Instagram that you can unsend messages. And no one knew that you can unsend messages before that episode came out.
Wait,
and then
seriously?
Yes.
You can answer messages
my
for real?
nigga, yes.
Oh yeah, you can.
once that message came,
you can walk it back.
once it came out, then all of a sudden Instagram started giving you notifications when someone unsended a message. And before I
didn't
would be
send that?
no, and so that was like that episode really effed up.
Damn.
You know,
Yeah, it fucked up the game. So Insecure, y'all doing shit that resonates.
9, Random Acts of Flyness on HBO.
oh yeah,
You told me about that show.
That's a
that
deep-
show
that's
is
a deep.
fucking great.
And number 10 is The Deuce on HBO.
I watched season 1 of The Deuce.
Season 2 is 10 times better.
That's
Season
what
1 is
I was
boring.
saying.
I like
Alright.
this. I really like this past season of Power too.
Power was cool. Power
Power
was
was
good.
great.
Power was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
The Last OG, I liked Last OG a lot.
Oh,
That came
I've
out
been
this
watching
year.
that on Netflix. That's really good.
With
I
Tracy
like
and
how it's
Tiff.
filmed. It's filmed like a little bit differently. It kind of feels like a movie.
Yeah,
Or,
Jordan Peele's people produces that. It's
Yeah.
single cam. I
That's-
like the
that's why,
style
yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
I pretty much have everything that Reek has except for Maniac.
Maniac.
Maniac was cool. Got through the whole season.
Season 3 of Daredevil was fire.
Season 3 of Daredevil was dope. American Vandal season 2 was dope. Before they canceled that shit. And then Titans.
I gotta get DC streaming service. I have to get it.
I know.
Another show.
I don't, but-
another show that I really love, and you guys should check out. Runaways on Netflix.
I've heard good things
Or
about
Hulu?
Runaways.
Oh
boy
my
Jay
God.
Washington told me about Runaways.
It's so good. It's so
what I've been
good.
hearing.
It's so good. You need to
Okay.
definitely watch that. And for you guys that are definitely, I didn't know that it was a comic book.
Yeah.
And so I went back and read about it. Y'all will love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
I've been hearing about Rose. I haven't
So,
checked it
all
out.
right.
yet.
So we put out some good shows, recommends. Yeah, I want to thank all you guys for joining me for our recap review show of the year. I think we
course.
covered
Thanks for having
the
Thank you.
funnest, dopest shit in music.
this is good.
TV. This is cool. Let's put it. We're gonna put that out. It's probably gonna be a 2-hour episode. I don't think I want to split it up this time.
Yeah.
Um,
Wait, you gonna put a 2-hour episode out?
Might as well. It's
Why
the
not?
last of the year.
Okay, why not?
All right.
That's what Joe Budden and Charlamagne just did.
all 37 of my
Sure.
fans gonna listen to this shit.
And I got a couple of fans that listened to last time.
They did that. What did they think of it?
They liked it.
I liked it.
It was my grandma and my aunt. Sorry.
There you go. I'm gonna send it.
Podcast is done. I'm done with this shit.
They're pretty cool though. Don't hate.
Hey, those are still streams.
Those are still streams. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put this out. Hopefully we get it out before the year comes out. And thank all you guys for supporting that For the Culture Live. So let's give everybody a chance to put out their handles where they can follow them, what they got coming up. Go ahead. Jasmine, we can start with you.
Hey guys, you can check my website for all of my upcoming shows, www.jasminleigh.com, JasminLeigh. Follow me at Real Jasmine Leigh on Instagram, and I have my pilot coming out, just waiting on that to be edited. So pray that it gets picked up or I get some money. Thanks.
What's the
guys.
Where's it dropping?
Jasmine's World. It's a talk show, variety show concept, and it's 30 minutes. And we hope to have it on one of your streaming sites pretty soon. So
That's what's up. Doing your own thing.
Yes,
That's what's
my
up,
own
girl.
budget.
You've been
Killed
talking about
it.
that show for a minute, so
Yeah.
I can't wait to see if you put out like a little sneak peek.
I will.
or
I'm gonna have a
sizzle.
party. So
All right,
Yeah.
bet. So
Invite
we'll
Reek.
invite Reek, invite
Yeah,
Salim.
for
They
sure.
will come out.
We will come out
Reek,
and support.
Salim, you guys can plug what you got coming, what you got cooking.
Brother Reek here at Reek Speaks. Got Cornbread Kitchen shows. We got the next show January 20th.
It's my birthday weekend, so come
Damn.
through.
do y'all
at
having
the
any guests?
UCB. Yeah, I think
We've had an issue with guests on the show, so I don't think we're gonna put anybody
All
on. The next, as far as in solo acts, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was.
Yeah, but the next show January 20th is gonna be the UCB Inner Sanctum. Always a good time. We got a new sketch called Merry Christmas coming out soon with the Cornbread Collective.
Yes.
And of course, Brother Reek is constantly going around these Hollywood streets pitching these shows with Brother Lean to the left of me.
Yep.
So
And me and
whenever-
Reek writing something too. We
All right.
about to shoot in a minute.
If you need a woman,
We always need a woman
yeah.
always need a
to hold that grip. If you know what I'm saying.
All right, I'm not gonna co-sign that.
I'm kidding.
He means he doesn't mean his grip though. For everyone that's listening, he's not me tooing me.
That's
or
a job in
anything.
Hollywood,
Yeah,
guys.
it's
Come
actual
on.
job.
It pays well. If you're a good grip.
Yeah.
What you got, Lean?
She got lit.
Nothing that exciting. Just in the kitchen cooking, trying to sell some shit.
All right.
Trying to pitch and sell shit. That's
We
what
need to
I'm
get
doing.
together.
What's your Insta?
Yeah.
For sure.
What's your Insta? So they can follow you?
Instaleam26.
And what's the show? We just also did a show of Salim's The Binge.
Yeah, we did it's called the Mel Weekend Binge. Brother Nick and I did a binge about multiverse movies and TV shows.
Yep.
And
Where can
Nick,
they find that?
go to Mel Magazine YouTube page.
Yes.
And you can find it there. And Nick killed it. I needed him to basically explain the Arrowverse. He took like 4 minutes, one take, and killed it.
One take Nick.
One take Nick.
One more thing.
Go ahead, Jasmine. Plug it.
All right. I did hear that somebody saw the Dolomite movie, and
Oh,
I
how is
have
it?
made a couple of appearances in that. It's coming out on Netflix, so make sure you check me
When
out.
is it?
on
When
Wait, the Dolomite
Oh,
movie?
I don't know
Murphy?
the date with Eddie Murphy. I don't know the date. I just know that I made the final edit in a couple of parts.
Congratulations.
So, yeah.
We
Watch
got some
that.
lines, or we in the background?
Bitch, listen.
Specific.
Bitch, listen, honey,
Hey.
don't even start.
I'm dancing with
Hey.
Eddie Murphy. That's
That's
it.
enough. You danced on the king. That's
That's dope.
Did y'all
Yeah.
talk about Roosevelt?
Oh, yes, we did, actually. He
You
went
got
to high
into
school
it?
with my mom. Yeah.
what's up.
Yep. And he remembered me the
a
next
dope little
day.
connection.
Well, not the next day, a couple of weeks later in a different wig. He's like, you the one from Roosevelt. I said, I almost died.
That's all
Was
that
your
matters.
mom one of the good kids at Roosevelt or the bad kids?
Oh, no, she was good.
So she hung with Eddie, not Charlie.
She didn't hang. They were older than her. She was in 8th grade, but it goes from
okay.
7th to 12th grade.
But they knew by that time they knew Eddie was the stand-up of the town.
Yeah.
because he was already making noise in the
Already.
70s. All right, so if y'all want to follow me, add me at Nick of Comedy, NICKOF Comedy. Like Reek mentioned before, January 20th is our first show of the new year at the UCB Inner Sanctum. Cornbread Kitchen presents the Black Twitter Show, and we're also doing an after party at the Bronson Bar. That's on Sunset at Bronson for my birthday.
That's right.
Yes.
Hopefully, I have better luck at the Bronson this year than last year. That's when I got served for a lawsuit.
What?
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
that was probably one of the worst birthdays ever.
At the Bronson Bar?
At the
I remember
Bronson Bar.
that shit.
Right before I did a stand up set because I was booked on my boy Dave Hellam's show. This nigga who was
the
hiding
fuck
in the
served
background,
you?
he was scoping me out and like trying to get a conversation with me. And then when I finally like made time to talk to him, he was like, "You've been served," because this was about my car accident where
Stop talking to strangers,
where
guys.
somebody was injured.
Because
So
Nick
it
was pumping this show on his Instagram. So
Right.
the dude pulled up.
That's why.
That's a smart lawyer, though.
They found my shit, and because I
That's
kept
a-
pumping my birthday, and that where I was gonna be for that spot, and then
on your birthday, and he knew it was your birthday too.
I told him afterwards, and he said, "This motherfucker said happy birthday.
What?
Have a good set." You know, he said have a good. He didn't wish me happy birthday, but he said have a good set.
Oh, listen,
dick.
somebody been
It was
trying
a
to
dick.
serve.
I got so sauced that night. Yo, I blacked out. That was the first time in my life I ever blacked out drunk.
You gonna have
You
a
lost
great,
your keys or
a
something.
way
I lost
better
my
birthday
keys.
this year.
Somebody had to drive me home. I heard I was crying with my
all
glasses
bad.
on.
Oh my
all
god!
bad.
I was the most R&B Nick you could ever be.
That's all bad, bro.
That was Nikita. That was.
Gotta get credit when I was good. That was hilarious. Nikita Alexander.
Alexander, y'all. We gonna use that in the cornbread kitchen now.
Shut up, nigga.
Nikki came out. Nikki came out.
Nikki came out, honey. So January 20th, Sunday night, 8:30, the Black Twitter Show, followed by the after party at the Bronson Bar. And we'll keep plugging that once we get back in the new year when Tony comes back from Miami. Shout outs to Tony. And follow For the Culture at For the Culture Live on Instagram, Twitter, and you can find that on iTunes, Spotify, the CPU